So West Ham United have bought a lot of players such as Wan-Bissaka, Guido Rodriguez, Somerville, Fulkrug, and they do have a new manager as well, Julen Lopetegui, who will be under pressure to deliver with these players. Plus, there's players at the club that might already be unhappy, and players already out the door from recent real-life transfers. So can the Hammers do it? Can they start scoring for fun, lifting themselves and the manager all the way to the top? Yes, here he is a little bit settled down. He's had pre-season with the Hammers just in his normal shirt, and we've got to try and make the team unnormal. Changing this lineup to the world's best team if we can. Of course, it's going to be hard, and we have to make more signings. But after all the current spending, we only have 31 million, so it's not the most in the world, plus we can still sell players. As you might already see, I've made my squad, and there's a few changes from the normal side. I think the players we need to sign, because yes, we're going to keep signing. Our left-hand sided players jumping straight into this save here, as Emerson probably needs to go out. Creswell is retiring, so we can't actually sell him, but we do have a transfer list. Danny Ings, Kurt Zouma, and Maxwell Cornet make up the permanents. Then all the youngsters for loan, of course. That's the normal thing, but there is one player I'm worried about, and we've got to address it straight away. And it's this man, Lucas Paqueta. I did not put him in my starting 11, but that is subject to change if he can change position and change his attitude. As Julen's sitting in a restaurant to actually meet the player for the first time, asking Lucas, I'm here to rebuild West Ham. Do you want to be in it? I see interest worldwide, especially from Pep at Man City. And if you don't want to be at the club, just tell me and I'll get you transferred. Well, Gaffer, I want to see you being new to the club and all. I don't know how we're going to do, but I do want to play Champions League football. Can you guarantee that with the Hammers in your first season? As we're not in Europe this year, we should go fully for it. Well, Lucas, I'm not going to assure it. And I don't like you making demands, so just settle into the squad for now and we will see what the future holds for us both. That probably being the best outcome, as we are going to change his position. I wouldn't mind him Cam, centre mid, but then we have Rodriguez, Souček, Alvarez, and then this man, Ward-Prowse, I'm excited to use. Yes, a lot of midfielders at the club. Not actually many strikers. So maybe another redemption arc for Maxwell Cornet if he can train as a striker, because in season 1, I don't want to sign one. Or episode number 1, as my starting cam is already sorted. Mohamed Kudus. Very excited to use this man. What a brilliant player. Scored an overhead kick on the final day. So yes, he's going to start right there. And we've just got to get to signings. I think the defense is sorted centrally with Kilman and Mavropanos. I'm trying. Wan-Bissaka the same. We just need to replace Emerson. That's the most important thing, but we start with some transfer offers. Kurt Zouma, I don't want at the club, so I'm going to accept the bid from Villa. Cornet's going to get another chance, but not Kurt Zouma, I'm afraid. He's straight out of the door, don't want any controversy or him playing. So maybe in need of another centre-back for the bench, as he chose Newcastle, but not right now. I've got other priorities, which, of course, is left-back. And actually, I've found two players that could fit into our squad straight away, but they are going to have to impress, as we're going to trial them in pre-season. Yeah, we're going to trial them both in pre-season. Look at this, the first opportunity of the game, and that's Sebastian Haller, saved by the goalkeeper, as this is the left back we're trialing, and also the centre back out of zone. I mean, I just wanted to give him a touch of the ball. Still, they're both doing well against Borussia Dortmund. A free kick over the bar. And maybe now we can conjure up a chance, because of course we've got to watch the rest of the team. This is Somerville, I believe, running straight into Mats Hummels. And that might be it for the game, unless Fulkrug can go and score. Close against his former side as a 0-0 with Dortmund. Right, a penalty save as well. I think that's a decent pre-season game. Still, we're going to go into the next one, and it's a 2-2 draw right there, and you might see one of the players' names. Fulkrug scoring goals. And the final game of pre-season against Leipzig we cannot play, because the players that we are trialing are actually from Leipzig. Yes, I will go ahead and release who they are. David Round, the left back, and Willy Orban, the centre back. come for a 2-week loan? Orban actually impressing with a 6.95 rating. The only problem is he's 30, and I wanted to try and help round. But a 5.95 maybe tells me he's the wrong player, so we'll search for another left back because he's not impressed too overall, or too much overall, and it cost a little bit to get them in. Still, we do have the Zuma money, so 41 million overall. Still yet to sell anyone else as Mohamed Kudus to Cam. It doesn't increase his rating at all, but I'm going to play him as an advanced playmaker. And last preseason game, we're not going to go for a player immediately now. We're just going to think of our tactics for the current players at our squad. And I'm thinking tiki-taka. I know Lopetegui might not be too attacking, but he's a Spanish manager. Tiki-taka goes with Spanish managers. And also with Spanish managers comes great Spanish coaches. So he's gone and got them from his home country, and now we need to get a player. As why didn't I just think of maybe going Spanish with our signing? Spanish manager, Spanish player, Jose Gaya from Valencia. Improvement on Emerson, of course, as we will offer his evaluation, see what they have to say. They want Nayef again, who I did forget was at the club. But no, we'll go for 30 million, and they cannot turn that down, surely, for an aging left back. And no, they bloody don't, as he signs for the Hammers. Fantastic signing, that one. Goes straight into our left back slot and gives Somerville some cover, who still starts ahead of Paqueta. And online after the signing, the West Ham fans still loving it, saying the signing is perfect and it should take us to Europe. That's adding a bit of pressure, but before we go into the new season, we've got to meet with a board representative to outline our objectives. Julen, of course, we sacked a manager to get you here, and our objective is simple: get into Europe. If it's the Conference League again, the Europa League, or the Champions League, we do not care one bit. We just need the extra revenue. Well, you can tell the chairman I will not let them down on this promise, as we will get into Europe. Mark my words. And I bet they are bloody marking them, as the last game of pre-season we actually drew to Leipzig 2-2. Willie Orban and Round playing, but they won't be playing for us. And I know Gaia didn't actually get a trial, but I do trust him for Bournemouth away at the Vitality. But before we jump into that, could this man push into the team? Well, he's an 83 rating Lucas now, but of course Kudus is in the lineup. And checking fans' opinion again, it does look like they want Paqueta, so maybe a bit of pressure from the start for Julen Lopetegui. As finally as well, we did not talk about his contract, which highlights how European football is very important, but also youth is very important, as West Ham have done well with youth. The likes of Mark Noble, Declan Rice they just sold to Arsenal. So I think it's only right that we do search for the next central midfielder. And have we found them straight away? Well, Riley Moss is okay, but he's nothing really special, and I don't want to put him into the team, because these youngsters already loaned out, such as Lewis Orford, even Sean Moore, they're the ones getting the current chances, and I'm going to try and allow them to actually take them out on loan, as Jared Bowen a bid from United. We can't sell Danny Dyer's son. Or it's not his son, is it? Is it his son-in-law or something? In fact, very recently in real life, he has just got the captain's armband. So he will take it here and lead the team out against Bournemouth. And you just can't knock opening day, as they've got a lot of black on their kits, and of course we've come in our away kit, just normal. Unai starting the game for Bournemouth, but a brilliant tackle, Gaia. Just the start he needed, but not the start we need. And the hole, Bournemouth come close, and Areola with a mistake right there. Bit of a poor start, but can we finally get out of our half as Guido Rodriguez goes from range? That's absolutely dreadful. Not caught it correctly, but we are starting to play this game. Fulkrug with the biggest chance is kept the ball, and he tries on the angle. Not bad from the German, as the corner will follow from Jared Bowen. Kudus tries the same. A header from Mo Kudus. In a half we've had to grow into, but Bournemouth with the early chances. Defo room for improvement, as here's Bournemouth with a chance right here. Roman Fifre shoots. Max Kilman with a good block. Defo room for improvement though, as Sinister at the start of the second half, we're standing off him a little bit. Favre, the shot is blocked. And we need to make changes because nothing's actually working. So full Krug off for Antonio and Alvarez for James Ward-Prowse. Not Paqueta just yet, as Onyal running at us right here. They've gone into the gap, got it back. Roman Favre with a chance. Areola came out, but still they come at us again. It's Enes Unal, Roman Favre, a block from Mavropanos. And we are on the ropes as Tavernier into Solanke. He doesn't even play for them in real life, and Solanke scores. A very fine finish for the Tottenham player in real life, which makes this just a bit worse because, of course, Tottenham rivals with West Ham. And that's the end of the game. A dismal showing from West Ham United. That second half, we were dominated. And what will Julen say? As he's asked by the press what he thinks to his West Ham team there, and he fumes, saying they just didn't do what I asked them to. He's also being asked about Paqueta's comments after the game, and he calmly says, I haven't seen them. I'm guessing they were posted on social media. As West Ham star Paqueta fuming with no minutes against Bournemouth in a narrow defeat on the opening day of the Premier League. And it does seem he's very angry, as everything's a thumbs down, and he's even been approached by Bayern Munich. So life for Lopetegui at West Ham doesn't look very straightforward with how he started the Premier League. A defeat to Bournemouth on opening day, with fans questioning the team selection and not playing Paqueta. The West Ham playmaker looks brilliant for Brazil, but after speaking with the manager, didn't play the first game. And after speaking to the press, the manager found out about a tweet from Fabrizio saying he might leave. As yes, people, straight into the office of Julien. This is appalling what's happened. Paqueta is moaning. Lucas, I have seen the tweet on social media. If you're fuming with your game time, just come and talk to me. Boss, we talked about Champions League football, and then you don't even play me in the Premier League. That, to me, is absolutely appalling. So is there a reason I didn't? Come on, I've trained in this different position. And yes, Lucas, I understand you have learnt to play as an attacking midfielder, but I just prefer Kudus, and unless someone pays your evaluation, you are going nowhere. So I will speak to clubs if you want me to, but just know I'm not going to accept them very easily. As yes, people, what a start. We've got to go and look at that offer because we saw he was approached. Actually, a lot of players approached. We'll deal with all them later. They're not as important as Paqueta. 37.7 million Bayern Munich, not the best sell. Of course, in real life, it's Pep Guardiola at City who wants the player. And if Bayern Munich are to get him, they have to pay 60 million, which it doesn't look like they're going to. Fair enough. Absolutely fair enough. He stays with us. Speaking of coming to us, he's a little bit late, but Jean-Claire Todibo, he's finally at West Ham. Let's just pretend his plane was delayed. And although he is a lone player, he fits in this squad very well. We've got Kilman, the left footer, then Jean-Claire on the right-hand side. And after that game against Bournemouth, it cannot go any worse, as we start very tough today with Chelsea in the first game. London derby this, as there is Todibo is finally turned up, and hopefully we turn up. Our last performance disgraceful, and we are at home against Chelsea, so come on, you bloody Irons. Do it for Bazinga. Or just do it for yourselves, as Noni Madueke scored a hat-trick against Wolves. A very poor shot from Chelsea. We'll take a few more of those, as Somerville in the middle. Could we try and stun the Blues? Jared Bowen, the captain, resorting to long range, as this first half's been nothing. Somerville, though, on a run. He's full Krug, he's not fast. So he's going to give it back to Luke Somerville. Oh, no, it's not bloody Luke Somerville, it's Christencio. Bowen! What's being given right here? Is this a penalty for the Irons? It's Benoit Badashile. It's a bad tackle on Christencio. I believe we have a spot kick. Oh my days, we do. We do. And it's going to be Nicholas Fulkrug, of course, Ward-Prowse on the bench. And Fulkrug scores! The German giant was playing in the Champions League final not long ago. Now for the Irons and scoring this bloody penalty. Fantastic first half. Don't bloody care how boring it is, but still, this game could be livened up Let's try and put him on. That's right, Paqueta for Kudus. He's got to prove himself to me. I wanted to start with Kudus just for a bit more agility behind Fulkrug, but he's not shown anything to me as Paqueta. Nice tackle. That's what we want to see, as now Guido Rodriguez. We could get 2 here against Chelsea. A very poor Chelsea side. Gaia, he's got bloody no one to hit in the middle. Actually led to a move that leads to a West Ham corner. Could we get a second? Is that Paqueta? Yes, it is. What a save. The Brazilian proving why he should have actually started the campaign over Kudus. A good chip over to him. Raheem Sterling doing his defensive duties. But still, we need another goal to try and kill this game off against the Blues. It's Somerville running through. Mikel Antonio in the middle. All he had to do was lunge at the ball, but it's Paqueta winning it back. Lucas Paqueta feeds Somerville. It's Crescencio Somerville. 2-0 to the Irons, and I believe we're going to beat Chelsea here. Granted, they are poor, but this is a huge win. Lopetegui responds against a very poor Chelsea side. That is the headline we want, alongside a headline with this man in it. Excellent from our Brazilian, an 8.5 rating and an assist off the bench. Maybe I was wrong on him. As on the topic of Brazilians, West Ham did sign a Brazilian. I think he's called Luis Guilherme. He came from Las Palmas. Unfortunately, not in the game, though. There's these 2 here, but they're not the man we wanted, and he did look a decent player. The 18-year-old not in the game, and instead, our team's still aging. We've got a 31-year-old striker, a 33-year-old striker, and our newest one's bloody 30, so maybe with our remaining money, I think it's about 13 million, we get someone instead of Luis. Of course, a different tricky Brazilian, and Marcos Leonardo of Benfica. Bit pricey, but still a young talent. As you can see, he stretches our budget, so 11 million plus ings. It's cheeky, but still, let's see what Benfica say. No, Ward-Prowse. Well, I'm not swapping JWP. I'll try Naya for Gerd, because he's a player with a high market value who we don't use at all. And they accept it. Amazing news, as welcome to our new number 16 backup striker, Marcos Leonardo. Right, Lucas, welcome back into the office. I want to tell you more about our signing Marcos Leonardo. I've got him because he's Brazilian just like you, and you played well last time out. So go and prove me wrong, and prove you should start. As I have been simming along, didn't want to bore you with all the simulations, the quick ones they are. It's on to a big tester, Manchester City, and Fulkrug does start on match rating over Leonardo, as Bowen cutting inside, our captain going for a sweeper, but saved by their sweeper keeper as Todibo touches the ball down. A good signing, that man, as Fulkrug tries to turn out, not having his luck, and if he doesn't improve, we have Leonardo. Kind of want to use him, but of course we're against Man City. As Bowen through that gap. It is Fulkrug looking left into Jose Gaia, and Somerville is in front of him, and that is a terrible pass. Our left back not doing too good. The worst thing he's actually done is leave room for Erling Haaland. Keeping them out so far, though, was Bowen. Can we counter on them? Still playing moist football as Wan-Bissaka, ex-United, man at the back post, but we will play it into Paqueta. Can the Brazilian use some flair? It's a good turn into Fulkrug. Wide of the mark still, though, and I think you know what that means. He probably might have to come off, but Alvarez to maybe score. What a bloody chance, man, and still we're into the second half now. Leonardo on. Will that help Lucas Paqueta out? Going Brazilian against City. If only we had Savio. He's brilliant, that guy. Still, City haven't threatened us. Not how you'd expect. Anyway, as Paqueta waits for the run of Leonardo. That's a good pass. He's only got Ake to beat right here. Can he get past his man? He's using the force very well to try and get past him, and Paqueta is put through. Linking up just like that. The force that we needed. Paqueta and Leonardo give us the lead against City. Our luck may be in today as Erling Haaland missing big chances, headed away, needs blasting, hit it Bowen, there is the win. Beating Manchester City and beating Chelsea just before this by nils, clean sheets. Our defence is solid. And in fact, to add to that defence, Thomas Souček, 81 rated. I've changed him because of a Gerd. he won't play Souček in the midfield. He's our backup centre-back now, as yes, we've beaten 2 good teams, but 5 games in so far, and it is 3 wins, 2 losses. We lost against Brighton, we did win in the cup against Hull City to give us another cup game, and yes, it's Man City again. Might just field a weak team, but I'm not weak against Liverpool, and a 2-2 draw against Arne Slot, not bad. Thank you, Jose Gaya. And yes, I am going to play the reserves for this cup game against City. Not feeling confident, even if we did play our main team. And, ooh, beating on penalties, closer than you actually think. Ward-Prowse missing a penalty, as after that I did some games through. We lost against Newcastle, but then did beat Leicester City. It's the hot and cold Hammers, that's our nickname this season, but still close to the top 4, where Aston Villa are. And of course it's who we play next. Paqueta turning out. We've got Paqueta and Kudus in the team. Think that worked well against City. May as well give it a big try, as Kudus has already found a way through. Could he just try and shoot himself? A good save, Emi Martinez. And Paqueta now in the middle. Come on, we've got to pass this fairly quickly. Kudus through the gap onto Jared Bowen. Fulkrug moves away for the shot. Lacking on the quality, as now we need another move. Fulkrug here down the line. Aaron Wan-Bissaka to whip the ball in. It's Bowen with the header. And someone please explain to me how we're not winning this game so far, as Fulkrug with a run on here. Jose Gaya into the middle. It's our left back going through right here. Another save from Emi. He is the bloody world's best keeper, as he's proving with how he's kept them in here. As you know what change I'm making at halftime? Marcus Leonardo on the field here against Villa. Oh my days, Louise. He's not even bloody a Villa player anymore. What's he doing hitting free kicks? As, oh no, man down. That's Alvarez. And whilst he's on the deck, Aston Villa score! Rather controversially, it's gotta be said, he's in the play and he's probably distracting Areola, who does very poorly to save that shot. And as you can see, it's a serious one, so Alvarez off for Ward-Prowse, and now we've got to get back in the game. This has turned sour all of a sudden. So come on, let's play some football. As a ball into the box, Douglas Luiz steps away from us, Vignato. Tackle by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We've got the ball back here into Kudus. Kudus to fire low. Another save by Emi, who's been unstoppable in this second half, just like Douglas Luiz. Penalty to Villa. There's absolutely no question about that one, and Luiz gets his second, winning the game for Villa. Julian, how do you feel? A 1-0 loss away at Villa Park? Well, I'm kind of outraged, really. I'm keeping it quite on the outside, but not kicking the ball out when a player's injured in the middle of the park and scoring from the move is absolutely tasteless. Screw it, Unai has blood on his hands. That should not go down as a goal. I'll be on the phone to the press and telling them to put the right story out. And immediately after that, straight in the press is Lopetegui speaking on how Emery is classless and his team play dirty tactics. Big story breaking out, as another story breaking out is a broken elbow for Edson, which sees him sidelined for 2 months. I mean, let's hope we can still put results together, as the first game is Everton. I mean, Ward-Prowse straight in the team. It's a game of double-barreled names. Ward-Prowse, Calvert-Lewin, that was a decent point, but that is an absolute hammering at the Bees in a local derby. Losing a local game, as I've simmed a few games after that. We couldn't beat Forest, couldn't beat the Saints, and drew to Palace. But the next game is the big one. You can see we've only got 16 points and Spurs at the new stadium. This is pressure for Julian, as the board representative brings him in saying, Julian, what is happening? Ever since you called out Emery, it's just gone all downhill. Well, you just need to tell the board I've got it all under control. This happens to teams, and we were sure to go through a rut at Christmas. Yeah, but this has gone out of control. We haven't won a game in 4 now. And of course the next game is huge, being the big Tottenham rivalry. Yeah, this is huge, especially away from home, and the points tallies. We almost have half of what Tottenham have. Simply have not been good enough, and Guido Rodriguez on his own in the midfield now still. Mohamed Kudus, and a big call up front right here. Marcus Leonardo, who's going to try and put a ball to Wan-Bissaka. Terrible, but still war-prowse. He's got a lot to prove in the midfield. Just lost to his old team, the Saints, as Jose Gaya. That's very weak. Richarlison through, onto Maddison. No idea how he stayed on side. Still, we will try and counter. It's kind of the tactic we're using at the moment, even though it is tiki-taka, and Jose Gaya going forward. Not having fun at the minute is Gaya as a free kick for Spurs. It still falls to Maddison somehow. Koke, back on the ball. Look at the bloody passing. Look at the passing from Spurs. It's Richarlison, of course. The bloody human chicken. Bang on the half-hour mark as well as Richarlison. That's a good return pass. Kulusevski plays it back to him. 2-0 as I snap my fingers. What is going on here at West Ham? It's Richarlison pulling us apart like pulled chicken. Absolutely woeful. As now we chase the game, but it springs to mind a game before. It was 2-0 to Tottenham, and then West Ham won 3-2 in the end. Believe Ayew was scoring for fun, but if Richarlison gets another goal here, I'm going to go mental. Not a hat-trick, as Kilman deals with him quietly. For once, as now Paqueta. Can he cut inside? Marcus Leonardo brought them two together to work together. Leonardo to finish it. Saved by the keeper and could unsave Julian's job. As an easy win for the chicken team with a chicken striker just makes the job of Lopetegui a lot more harder. So life here at West Ham is not what we were expecting it to be. Losing to bitter rivals Tottenham and Aston Villa with an illegitimate goal, having a player down injured. This has led to our manager losing his head in the press conference, sparking a new rivalry with Villa and especially Unai Emery.
Good evening.
With both managers rattled, one could lose their job very soon. And with our league position, it definitely could be Lopetegui. Yes, people, not looking good is the phrase you'd probably use to describe this season so far. You can see no wins in December, no wins in November, and no wins in October. We have been starved here at the Hammers, and we need to build momentum up. You can see the morale of the squad very unhappy, and I think to try and up this, we've got to speak to club captain Bowen. Jared, you've been here longer than me, and with you being the captain of the Irons, do you know why this squad is extremely unhappy? Well, boss, I can't speak for anyone else apart from Paqueta. He's still a little bit angry with his move to Bayern breaking down. But I believe it's just the league form. Ever since that game against Unai Emery's Aston Villa and that goal, we haven't looked ourselves. Maybe a tactical change could stop things? Or stop goals going in the net, as maybe it could be our defence. And could it be? Because I'm looking at our defenders. We've got Cresswell, very old. Emerson, he doesn't get played at all. Then Jose Gaya, who hasn't been good since he's come in, but I'm going to give him a little bit more of a chance. He deserves a full season. Maybe Kilman we've got to watch, because he is left-footed, so that's why he's in the team. His rating isn't the best. And Thomas Souček on the bench. Yes, his pace is lacking, but he makes up with it with strength, passing, and defensive ability. Going to just test it in a quick simulation against Fulham. 3-0 loss, man. Okay, that's not the issue. Kudus getting sent off doesn't bloody help us as well, but maybe we could help ourselves. I'm looking at this team's strengths. And the strength is strength. We've got very strong players in our defenders. Leonardo's a big unit up front. Paqueta, 78 physical. And having Fulkrug on the bench makes me think about supporting runs being staying central and having a target striker. Maybe that could help us out, as I'm sticking with Souček and going to Fulkrug for Manchester United, who aren't doing well themselves. Ten Hag being a bit of a donkey, as we've done all right at home in played games, beat Chelsea, Man City, and we should be able to beat United. But with stupid passes like that, we are really not helping ourselves. As a shot from Correa, and he's got the ball back again. A good tackle, Wan-Bissaka. Of course, against one of his former clubs, Fulkrug uses Kudus. We are a game away from the last one. Served his suspension against Wolves as Paqueta. Really needed that to go in, as it is Anthony, and Anthony has scored, man. When you concede to Anthony, you know you're doing bad. And he even celebrates with Ten Hag. I don't blame him. Ten Hag is literally giving him a living for nothing. The human fidget spinner scores, as now we need to respond. Mohamed Kudus on the outside shoots across the goal. Not a bad effort, but it is the halftime whistle, and to the way Onana moved in goal, I think there's a goal in here for us. Need to try and play to his tactic as well as Jose Gaia. Good run. He does like to get forward. Now cross it towards a target man. Maguire easily away, as now Anthony to try and run around us. Thomas Souček. He's not too great at centre-back. The more and more I watch him, the worse I feel he is, as Bruno's made it too. Bruno's made it too. I honestly don't know what's up. As you can see how much I'm panicking now, Maxwell Cornet's come on. I didn't even want to have him here. But with how badly we've done, he's actually getting a chance and he's through on goal. It's Maxwell Cornet. Offside, of course he is. As I'm taking Paqueta off as well, saving our best players now. As this game looks bleak, it looks like another beating. And yep, the game over like that. I think that result, though, answers a few questions about what we do in the market. Because the centre-backs were terrible. Even Souček submitting a transfer request. He does not want to play centre-back, fair enough. You're crap there. Also, Mavropanos, looks like everybody wants to leave the club, but the one that actually doesn't want to leave is the one I want to leave. But with him being new at the club and being a left-footed asset, we're going to speak to Mavropanos. He's 26 years old. Thanks for joining me in the office. I'm talking about your game time now and the lack of it going forward, because I like that you've transfer listed yourself. You won't play a minute under me, and I've got to be honest with you. So let's try and find you a new club. Is that okay with you? It's perfect, no hard feelings. I know I'm not going to play here. So let's head into the window and find me a new home. But it's easier said than done, as only one offer on the first day of January, Thomas Souček. I'd rather actually keep the check here. Played very well for them in real life and eats all the potato salad. So yeah, he's staying on my bench. He won't obviously play in the first team. As a man back in the first team is Edson Alvarez, and I did receive this comment talking about him being a centre-back, which is an option, in fact, a very good option. But I do have someone in mind that I could potentially sign. As after the Manchester United game, I spoke in a meeting with Erik Ten Hag about signing one of their centre-backs. Eric, I think Harry Maguire played very well against us. And I know it's not January, and I know he's in your first team, but I'd love to take him off your hands if we could raise some funds. And Eric says that's fine. He was only playing because of Lenny Yoro's age. Yoro is capable, so I will sell you Harry Maguire. Just meet our market evaluation and you have yourself a new centre-back. But make sure it's bang on our evaluation or you're not getting your player. As yes, Harry Maguire played very well in that fixture against us, but as you can see, they have accepted a bid from Nice, so we have to get selling, and this is that offer. Manchester City in for Luis Paqueta. Or Lucas Paqueta, sorry, but I am going to stand stern. It is 60 million only for his services. And will Pep pay it? He wants to be negotiable. I'm not having that, Pep. The money or you're out of here. As he says no, he won't sign his main target. City not paying 60 million. That's got to be something to do with the 115. And now Paqueta storms into Lopetegui's restaurant and meets up with him. You think you're funny, do you? Not accepting Man City? Well, get this. I'm not playing another game under your management if you don't let me have my dream move. Honestly, I hate this club. Lucas, I'm sorry it got sour, but you're not going anywhere without the evaluation. I'm not going to sell you for less than that 60 million. So maybe play well on the field and clubs may pay that fee. And I can't lie to you, I am very much struggling in this window. Another club, this time Newcastle United, and they say no as well. So the two richest clubs in the world, apart from Paris, won't pay 60 million. Weird, the lot of them, as the weirdest thing of all is we just can't get a decent offer for a player. West Foderingham, a 2-year loan to Stade Rennais. Why? Why would I accept that? Why would he go there? As finally some decent bids, right? Areola has to stay. I'm not selling my keeper, but Danny Ings, he can go and enjoy Spain. As there he is leaving the club, that is a little bit injected into our budget, which now sits, at 7 million. Eric, I can't raise the funds. I know what you said about the money, but have you heard of a player called Konstantinos Mavropanos? I'll swap him, only 26, 3 years younger than Harry Maguire. Not happy at the club, and we really want big slabhead. As yes, he's seen reason. Harry Maguire is an iron, just like the real life rumors. He joins the Irons. Very good swap deal that. You can see he looks so good in claret and blue. But do you know what doesn't look good? Our budget. 1 million. But I can do one better. What looks worse than that transfer and our bank account is the fact we're in the relegation zone. Harry Maguire, mate, you have to work wonders as we're at home again against Arsenal and Declan Rice. How's big slabhead on the ball, though? A ball across the field. Okay, we'll forget about that. Still, it's better than our current centre-backs. Just hoping for better as we wanted European football. That's a brilliant start, isn't it? Martinelli, 1-0 Arsenal. But I'm determined to stay positive. We just treat it like 0-0, lads. Fulkrug on the run. That is a good ball for Somerville. Has to be on the end of it and even scoring as Martin Odegaard could cross to the near post. Just towards our goalkeeper, though. Injury. Another bloody injury. Yes, we're in the drop zone, but we haven't had our luck. Player form, player morale, and player injuries as a header. Fulkrug, very good save, David Raya. Proves we are still in this game as Jared Bowen round the corner. It's Wan-Bissaka in the defence now with Harry Maguire. Mistake. Fulkrug has to tap it in. What a save by David Raya. Don't think I've ever seen a better one as Jared Bowen through the middle right here for onside with Somerville. Oh, he had to score. Missing the target as we've got that injury. Todibo is injured, and I'm going to listen to your comments. Moving Alvarez back. Ward-Prowse onto the field. I just feel like we've got corners in us. We need them set pieces to take and to plant on the head of Nicholas Fulkrug. That's a good run by Saka. Well defended. Wan-Bissaka! All my days, I think it's another injury, but still they come out as Arsenal are not slowing down. Jesus' shot is saved. Injury record's horrible as now they've got a man down, but like Aston Villa against us, we'll play on. And Fulkrug from range, a good save. And I'm glad I made that substitution. Ward-Prowse on the field. His delivery looked decent still in the mixer. It's Somerville down to Emerson, who should have equalised the game, but no, that's all she wrote. That is the end of another defeat 2-0. And straight after it, you love to see it. A new headline by Emery saying classless is what West Ham are, diving into the relegation zone. Just seems we're not strong enough, and definitely not Todibo out for 3 months, then Wan-Bissaka, he's only out for 4 days. And Kuval's even injured. He's injured for 2 months. I didn't even know that. Our injury record is terrible. As still we battle on, and yes, I did sim a few more games, so we are just above the relegation zone by 3 points over Everton. And also in other news, we've got a relatively easier run. We've played all them tough games, of course. Everton next time out. But one thing I've not touched upon, round of 16 of the FA Cup and Sunderland. In fact, all those teams look rather favourable. Apart from Liverpool and Arsenal, of course, as I'm just going to replace them injured players. We've got to be beating Sunderland. 1-0, Jose Gaya into the quarter-final where we have drawn Southampton. Now, I do want to play them today, actually. Maybe we get a semi-final. And that semi-final does give us a way into Europe as we beat Everton and lost to the Saints. In the league, that's quite expected, but not in the FA Cup. Semi-final at Wembley is up for grabs and anything can happen. And it is another home game. Come on, we used to use this to our advantage, winning games for fun against the Big Six at the start of the year. But now that story's different as Thomas Souček in the lineup, him and Harry Maguire in the defence. Never expected to be playing them as Paqueta out wide. We haven't actually scored in ages. Alvarez running through! And that is an easy starting goal. Edson Alvarez celebrates after his injury and being on the sidelines, getting their hammers. Looks like we've caught cup fever. Something sparking us to life as Paqueta. Look how easily he's drifted away. Maybe one day he actually might be worth 60 million. But till that day comes, he's just got to keep on playing well as Jared Bowen slipped through. He has someone at the other side. It is Kudus running through. That is a complete move. Passing it across the goal, and Nicholas Fulkrug, you are celebrating, mate. Or should I say, you have the right to celebrate that goal. He just put a brilliant pass through, and then just dummied away from them. Good stuff so far, or should I say great stuff so far. We've gone so long without a goal in game, then two come at once. Usually how it goes though, ain't it? As Fulkrug's coming off, I haven't seen Leonardo score a goal in game so far, so gets his opportunity. Partnered with Paqueta and also Kudus, who's been brilliant today. A good tackle. Now Leonardo passes it to Paqueta. Here he is through on goal. Will it be his first goal in Iron's colours? Bit of a terrible shot. And Kudus doesn't get the follow-up. Maybe he's an assister giving it to Paqueta, but Paqueta back. Marcos Leonardo at the second time of asking. Misses. Oh my days, but here he is. Skipping away from the defender, Marcos Leonardo. He was not missing that one. The big Brazilian scores, and now 3-0. I believe the game is done. We have a semi-final. So West Ham United are crushing it in the FA Cup, but in the league, it's not very cracking. Despite two big signings, Lopetegui is under pressure and also fighting Emery in a press battle. Unusual, but happens. You see the likes of Wenger and Jose, but they don't have the chance Lopetegui has here. As can his West Ham team wake up and smell the coffee, winning the FA Cup and keeping their manager. Yes, guys, a huge one, as this is what we've got today. Newcastle away, and then we go into the final months, I think. Oh, yes. Not a very easy ending. Manchester City and Chelsea in the space of the last 4 weeks whilst fighting against the drop zone. And not only that, we fight in player morale at the club and injuries. Kufal out, Todibo out as starter. 7 weeks without him, that's probably the rest of the season. Plus retirees, Fabianski, and when I go to the top, Aaron Cresswell. So I think at this moment in time, the most reasonable thing to do is talk to one of the happiest players, Edson Alvarez, the midfielder. How are the players on the training ground when I'm not there? Are they happy? Are they angry? Is there any insight you can give me? I don't want to survive. I want to thrive with West Ham. And yes, we're in a semi-final, but we need to be aiming for more. And his reply suggests there is some unhappy faces, as Lucas Paqueta has been spreading transfer rumours about. Saying he might go to City, saying he might go to Bayern, or even Aston Villa just to upset everyone. And trust me, that would really upset the manager at the moment, as Boubacar Kamara, their best midfielder. And of course he's defensive, as do we have to go defensive against Spurs? It is derby day, this time at home though. And we really want to win, as Wan-Bissaka starting off here. It's a good pass. Kudus, of course, he starts above Paqueta. A teaser of a ball, as you are joking me. That's Somerville, Paqueta's replacement, already bloody injured. So maybe Lucas does play as we've started this half brightly. Wan-Bissaka back post. Kudus, get on that. Kept the ball nicely as Jared Bowen looking for an angle. Bowen has skipped round his man. Saved by Vicario. And Paqueta coming on straight away. 20 minutes into the game. I'm hoping he doesn't disappoint. This early momentum. Hope he doesn't let us down just before half-time here. He's, of course, in the middle and slipping a ball through to Bowen. Jared Bowen through. It is under Vicario, and we have the lead against the rivals in our relegation battle. And that pass from Paqueta, oh my days, he's come on and he has created a chance despite hating the club he's playing for. You absolutely love to see it, as Tottenham just not bringing it to us. It is Fulkrug. Maybe it's Leonardo starting next time. Fulkrug's not being good. In fact, he's got another chance here to shoot. Shot. Oh my days, that was actually closer than anything else he's ever done. Then again, he hasn't scored, and we need this domination to pay off. It's Jared Bowen from range. Another save from the keeper. He's been brilliant as a short pass. Paqueta, look at that. He's got away from Madison. Paqueta. Oh, I like the try though, as his amount of running has maybe got us the result right here. He dribbles away with the ball and we beat the local rivals. Love the tweet from Bez, very positive for his Irons. But then some people just love to talk about Paqueta. As from talking about him to talking with him, Julian brings him into the office to discuss something further. Why are we falling out? You're an absolute brilliant player. And I'm firstly going to say I apologise for not playing you at the start. But since I have started playing you, you have done much better. It's just the attitude you need to change, and to be fair, I'll change mine. I will play you from now on. Kudos on the left. If off the field you show some connection back to the club. And Lucas says, fair enough, that derby actually got me excited. But anyway, who do we play in the FA Cup semi-final? I'll answer that for you, Lucas. We have Liverpool. Right. I mean, out of all them three teams, it is the easiest one, I guess. As look at last year's table, every single one should be tricky. As speaking of tricky, Fulkrug's ability to score goals. 8, no assists. I mean, he's played 27 games. Marcus Leonardo, almost half, and almost caught him with goals. As I'm going to go to Leonardo just for a sim game against Wolves. Does this tell us anything? 3-2, it's a win. He doesn't score, though. But anyway, a win's a win. Whoever scores, and we have a 4-point gap over Everton. Imagine the uproar at Goodison. As again, speaking of uproar, Fulkrug in the restaurant now. Gaffer, I came to West Ham to start games, you know. 31's not near retirement, and I saw you play Leonardo. I'm not a bench warmer. I'm a starter. Simple. You've got a big call to make for this FA Cup semi-final. And I should be in the 11, unless you want another unhappy face. And guess what? He is starting. I mean, he did play a Champions League final last year. Should be better than Leonardo, but not proving to be the case so far. Anyway, we'll see. This game has Kudus on the left. Somerville's injury as well was only 2 days. Still, Kudus stays on the left here. Paqueta on fire at the moment. Tries to fire a shot bottom corner. What a bright start as Jared Bowen towards Maguire. A header. Harry Maguire misses. Paqueta fires at Alisson. Need to keep the momentum up as Paqueta. Oh my days. Look at that. An easy pass. It is Thiago tapping in. An easy goal, that one. He shouldn't even be there. I mean, the slide tackle didn't work, and Liverpool take their first chance. In a hectic first half, which we did start the better in. Fulkrug with a turn. It's on to Kudus, though, and Kudus! Good goal from our winger, and instantly equal. It was Fulkrug with the assist. We just said he's gotten on this season. And yes, into the back of the net. Just what we like to see. Right, a positive second half, and we're one step away from a trophy. Still no easy blowover as Kudus. Come on, it's Liverpool and Paqueta on a turn. Paqueta looking for that corner still. As can we look for a head? I mean, it is Ward-Prowse here. We've put him onto the field for a few set pieces. Away from Nicholas Fulkrug, but Ward-Prowse to whip it in again. It is getting closer our way. We're definitely the better team. As maybe second time lucky. Ward-Prowse getting another corner. That's towards Nicholas Fulkrug. What a save from Alisson. I mean, look, we're pressing Liverpool as we're into the dying embers of the game. And Bowen, Jared Bowen, he's not been too involved in front of net. A good chance. And that's going to keep them in it because the game is going to extra time. Maybe a penalty shootout. Paqueta still playing good. I mean, if we just carry on how we have been, we should actually look good before penalties. Fulkrug! Oh my days. Just give the old man a goal. You gave Thiago one as Alvarez finds Fulkrug. A good pass on. Jose Gaia around his man there, and there is a man in the middle. Ward-Prowse has missed it. How? Just how? You've just got to get it in between the sticks. As can it happen in the second half? Little bit more suspenseful. No, game over. Goes to a penalty shootout. And of course, no trophy on the line as Szoboszlai takes the first. A Panenka. A Panenka is the first penalty. You won't get that from Fulkrug. He's going to blast it into the side netting or top corner, whatever. I don't know what my angle is. As Berardi scored after, but Jared Bowen is going to score as well. Oh, ho, ho. Alisson, no chance. As Bowen now. Was it Bowen last time? I don't think it was. Anyway, scored. The only problem is Liverpool keep scoring, but Areola with the save. And this is a big penalty. Somerville off the bench. Somerville puts it in. Now all we've got to do after Van Dijk scored his penalty is score. And it's going to be Thomas Souček, potato salad man. And I am going to try and be a little bit cheeky. Top corner Souček. That is not cheeky at all. That is just class, as at Wembley we beat Liverpool on penalties to secure an FA Cup final. West Ham make history, reaching the final of the FA Cup. A headline you love to see. Beats just talking about Emery. As guess what our next game is? Yes, Aston Villa, and they've got so many more points, but come on, are they in a final? No, they are not, and Tadebo's back from injury, but when we scroll down, Rodriguez, bruised shoulder. Never bloody easy for us. Ward-Prowse in the midfield, with Alvarez still out of position. That just can't change for him. As can we just beat Emery? No, they thump us at our place. Oh well, let's just get survival. No headlines after that one, as Mohamed Kudus, a left mid, and he's actually gone up a rating. Good. Now we play Paqueta in the middle. As has it took shape yet? No, not really, but I still fancy that team to give anybody a game. We have to with the running we've got as Manchester City in the FA Cup finale. Will Paqueta be switched on? Of course, he was linked with City. They actually put a bid in, but it wasn't enough for our valuation. As we play them twice this month, the away game and then the final. As after simming towards those fixtures, we did pick up a win against Ipswich. Still a little gap between us and Everton in the relegation zone. 2 points in fact, but the next game we have before City is Palace, and this is our biggest chance to avoid the drop. And with Paqueta stupidly suspended, we've got to still play our strongest team, which is this, hoping we can survive. As in the grand scheme of things, this game's more important than the final. We cannot move out of the Premier League. A weird run by Somerville, but that's took me by surprise. 1-0 against Palace. I mean, Dean Henderson, I love you, mate, but that is a terrible effort. I like it. Okay. I mean, Wan-Bissaka against his former club. He's going on a weird run here. Wan-Bissaka to cross it into a good area. Like most games we play, we just start better then get worse, as Bowen looking for an angle, a tackle, but it still falls to Guido. We are scrapping for our lives as Nicholas Fulkrug with the ball. Jared Bowen, if he's onside, he's around the keeper. 2-0. Jared Bowen. I don't know why he's high-fiving Crystal Palace fans, because that's their main stand. But get in. 2-0 Hammers. As could this be a hammering? I apologise to all the Crystal Palace fans in the comments, as Alvarez. Oh, he missed the swing. Still a fine half for the Hammers, as now Alvarez with a turn out. Leonardo's come on. Leonardo skips away. Could it be 3? Oh, my days. Dean Henderson, I am sorry. You've been shocking, as Leonardo off the bench to seal the deal. Should have had another goal, but still, you know why they're in the relegation zone. They are actually relegated, and we are safe. It's between Everton, Ipswich and the Saints for surviving. Positive for the club, which should really be a bit happier. Yes, it has been a bad season, but we're in an FA Cup final. And considering that fact, we're going to change the team up drastically, letting West Ham fans say goodbye to Fabianski and Aaron Cresswell. As long as they're not humiliated, because of course it is at the Emirates, and a 2-0 loss. Yeah, it was kind of expected. As now everything is on this final game against Man City. The FA Cup final. Could we get a first season trophy? As the board want to speak to Lopetegui before the game, saying, Julian, this is huge for the Irons. We've let a lot slide this season, I hope you've been able to realise. And you've ignored the contract somewhat. No youth player, as it says, is going against your terms. Not doing what we asked is kind of a sackable offence. But after David Moyes, we don't want to sack another manager. That's why you've got this chance to win the FA Cup. Grab that trophy and get forgiven by everyone, or lose it. And well, we'll have to see what happens next season. Little bit of threat, or shall we call it loose motivation from the West Ham board, as of course they want to win this game. As can we make that a reality? Come on, get the passing going. Paqueta in the team, Kudus on the wing, and we have dropped our midfielders back. Finally more defensive, as we have beaten City this season. Harry Maguire with a header, and Alvarez is tackled badly. That's Kovacic's Bowen. Bowen, what are you doing? Now that's a weird free kick, and it's put Jack Grealish through on goal. Our captain makes the mistake, but our keeper keeps us in the game. Anybody but Bowen, as there we go. Redeem yourself, Jared, here. You're the captain of West Ham, and he has seized the space. Bowen through on goal. The goalkeeper coming a little bit out of it, and Guido Rodriguez, fresh from his injury, scores for West Ham. And I don't believe it, winning at Wembley in the final against bloody City. Seriously, that is huge as Jared Bowen. Maybe another one, because 2 in the first half may be important, but a poor cross. As they're going to grow into the game right here, you can tell as, yes, there's the goal. It was only a matter of time. Look at that flick from Haaland, by the way. Absolutely magical. And Kovacic finishes off. I mean, he's won 4 Champions Leagues. With a player that capable, they really should be winning by now. But maybe another attack for us. A cross over Bowen. Not feeling too good now. Still no substitutions to be made. Let's treat it like a 0-0. Come on, we're still bloody level in this game. As Souček through the middle. Lucas Paqueta getting on the ball right here. Paqueta, what can you do? He still is up for this game against City. Should he have actually scored there? Maybe. Should have really rattled the net, but still a header. Oh my days, Paqueta. Least he looks up for it as he's wanting the ball, and he's got Leonardo on still. He's going to go himself. Lucas Paqueta getting a shot off again. And although he has scored a goal, let's get Guido off the field. Come on, Ward-Prowse, set pieces. The only way of beating City. Still, though, without set pieces, we do look the better team as Wan-Bissaka now. Come on, we haven't had a set piece yet. Ward-Prowse not on a set piece, but scoring off the post in the 84th minute of the game. Ward-Prowse could be winning West Ham United the FA Cup right there. Oh my days, I need to see the strike again. Celebrates with Kudus off the post, beating Ederson. We have been the better team second half, and probably first. Look at that, cuts out, left foot, posting in, and a goal. Could that be our season definer? As all we've got to do now is keep them out, and we get our second victory against the Hammers and a trophy. Wan-Bissaka going himself, but as Rico Lewis passes it, the whistle is blown, and West Ham United are back in Europe. The first trophy since David Moyes lifted that Europa Conference and get it into the trophy cabinet. We have got one. And this is the funniest part. Because of Bowen's substitution, it is Harry Maguire lifting the FA Cup. Season 1 with West Ham was absolutely incredible. Winning an FA Cup trophy, but also fighting relegation. As this year, manager Lopetegui has been warned about the league form. As if he doesn't do well, he could soon be sacked. So with a new, bigger budget and some beautiful new kits, West Ham need to get firing for their manager and their own sake. And yes, new signings will come in and old players will go out, as West Ham need to improve in the league whilst also being in Europe. As yes, people, the start of Season 2 with the Irons. Now, I absolutely love season starters. 2 reasons mostly. 1, we get to sign players, and we're going to go all out this year. And 2, we get to see new kits, which you can see Jared Bowen is in one. As always, he's doing a second series, but big shout out to Billy for making these home kit for West Ham. Very natural, very aesthetic. Little paint dots on the kit, which could also resemble bubbles, so I do like that detail. And I do like our new sponsor. As the away kit, very orange, of course, it's got to be different and Hull City-like. Maybe we can start singing Mauled by the Irons. Doesn't have the same ring to it, and this kit is beautiful. Just reminiscent of Fulham's in real life, the Barbie kit. It is funny. And of course we do have a goalkeeper, as they're all 3 kits right there, but we cannot forget about Areola with a very nice faded blue. Love to see the amount of detail, as love to see a high budget. £73 million to go with our European tour, hopefully. As yes, we're going to be in it, we need to win the Europa League. They are lofty expectations lofted onto Lopetegui, who also has this contract where he's got to get that youth player through. It's critical, it's at the top now, so yeah, you've got to bloody well do it. As also, we have to finish above 9th in the league, and I think if that isn't done, he can kiss goodbye to his job, definitely. As how is our squad doing? Right, we've had some gradual improvements over the summer. Mohamed Kudus He's up to an 85 rated. Paqueta up to an 84. He seems happy at the moment. And Bowen to an 82. So our midfield line looks fine. Going into more detail, I've dragged the players back. That was for the FA Cup final. And I don't know why I didn't do it earlier. As yeah, midfield looks fine. But then again, there's a midfielder I want. And maybe defenders again. Harry Maguire gone to an 81 rated. But I also believe at the start of a new season, new tactical change. And we are going to do what you guys told me. Edson Alvarez centre-back drill. And don't be fooled by James Ward-Prowse. Yes, I know he's left in real life. But we do want to replace him with a player that's come in real life. If you didn't see deadline day, West Ham signed Carlos Soler, and I've got him up right here, but he actually doesn't look too good. Still, I'm able to get him, and the number 13 shirt. Not the luckiest for players, but he's only cost 12 million. So maybe we sell Prowse in the midfield, add up a space for 58 million to be spent on another midfielder. Because yes, that's the position I really want to get a player in. When you look at our bench also, every other position counted for. Cornet we could sell as well because we didn't play him season number 1. And also Emerson, also Souček, and also Max Kilman here. An absolute failure of a signing for West Ham United. In this save, of course, as I'm just realising, goalkeeper. Only Areola. 31 years old as well. Maybe midfielder and a goalkeeper. There we go. We have got our 2 positions nailed. And one player the manager trusts, he seems to like to speak to him a lot. It's Edson Alvarez, this time meeting in his office area. Do you know any players you would recommend to join us? As you're from South America, and there's a lot of good players there. But boss, why look to South America when you don't need to? Look at the teams relegated. Palace, Everton. There will be some decent players down in the Championship next year. And as we avoided the drop, you should be able to bring them to us. Crystal Palace relegated, London club as well as us. So I'd make an approach, and I know just the player. Eberechi Eze. Now I know this is weird because he's at Crystal Palace. A rival with West Ham, you could say. But for 34 million, it is only half of our budget. We could move Paqueta back and get Eze in our cam position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck 34 bang on at Crystal Palace. Oh, their high demands. I'm willing to go to 40. 40 is a decent sum of money, especially for a Championship player. And yes, they agree with me. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the new cam at West Ham, Eberechi Eze. And yes, I am aware that will not please everyone. He's gone to play for England. He's playing in our cam position. As Paqueta's going to train to just sit behind the attacking force. And if he does argue, we'll just go and sell him. If we can get our evaluation, 60 million is his price tag. And 50 million we've got, which is almost enough for another player. We're definitely going to have to sell some. And hey, look at that for a start. We've got the Community Shield first, and then 3 favoured fixtures. As Emerson, we're going to sell. He's going to Benfica for 10.9. Thomas Souček, on the other hand, I am open to discussions, and they are decent bids, but I'm going to say 25 million for him. I'd preferably rather sell Kilman. As hey, here's an offer, and from Crystal Palace in the Championship, think he's going to find his level. Goodbye to Max Kilman. Ooh, but when I've scrolled up, Thomas Souček. Now Liverpool will pay 25 million for the Czechman. Then again, if we sell Emerson, we need to keep defenders here. So Souček and Kufal, they're both Czech and they're both checking in here. Staying in our lineup as Max Kilman. Goodbye. So that is around 40 million. And of course, we need that goalkeeper. But before we dive into that, an offer from Wolves for Max Cornet that will be accepted. So maybe we need another winger. To be fair, Bowen, Kudus, Somerville, Paqueta. We don't need another winger. We'll just cash in on Maxwell. Leaving us 46 million. Now, maybe we go for 2 players again. I do want a keeper. I'm just going to keep on saying that. And as for a keeper from the relegated teams, Henderson was dreadful against us. Neto is not good enough. And Pickford's gone to Bayer Leverkusen, replacing Hladecki as Jose Gaya now. Sociedad, that's rejected. I'm going to reject Tottenham. No way he joins the rivals, as the Community Shield is amongst us. And before this game, I was gonna change Edson Alvarez's position. Seems he doesn't want to change, and Harry Maguire actually outclassed by Souček right now. So Souček in the team. Liverpool, a team we actually beat towards winning the FA Cup. They must have won the Premier League, which we actually never noticed. We were always looking down, never up, as Fulkrug. We need a better season from him this year. Paqueta in a forward position. Close, and he's even playing further back in this formation, so we are very attacking as Fulkrug shoots. Maybe the pass was best there as Thomas Souček, though. Domination against Liverpool early on. Alisson with another save. Could be another one soon as well, as look at our domination. Fulkrug, if he can keep the ball, whipping it into a good area. No one on the end of it, as good tackle Alvarez. Why don't you want to be a defender? You're obviously good at tackling, mate. As your tackle set us away, it's a ball towards Jared Bowen. If he could reach someone in the middle, which he doesn't, another wasted cross. We should be in front as now second half Liverpool come at us. A chip. Does it get past Souček? Good work, Mr. Potato Salad. Releasing us down the wing, it is Kudus. Where is Eze? He's been as bad as Fulkrug this game, but Eze in the middle. That's better. Went to curl it, and we've got to tackle in. Gaia round, go. Eze, go. He uses Kudus. That is good link up. Kudus running through again. Can he get the pass inside right this time? Leonardo to shoot. Another great save, the keeper. As the end of the game approaching, and there's the bloody whistle. I could not find a pass through, and we go to penalties. Second time against Liverpool. Yes, they was at Wembley last time, and Soler on his debut, unlucky number 13, just came off the bench as now Eze. That's a bit powerful, but we are going to go down the middle. And he hits the crossbar. Now Salah. No, it's gonna be. Yes, it is now advantage to Liverpool. Oh, why did we miss that? Too much bloody power, as that might be too much again. No. Top bins. And now require a save. Andy Robertson saved by Alphonse Areola. And now Somerville. Punish them, please. Somerville, what a penalty. Over to Diego Jota, and he hammers it onto the post. Right. He missed, and it's Souček with the chance again. He had to score last time. Thomas Souček passes it in. We win the Community Shield. I didn't actually expect that, but Liverpool, defensive. Every time we play them at Wembley, it's level, and we go to pens. As I did take Jared Bowen off, and no Harry Maguire on the field means Somerville's going to lift the trophy, and hey, it is another trophy. West Ham go back-to-back, and Souček is the man again. Loving all these headlines for this man in particular, as off the back of it, he gets a new 2-year deal and gets off that transfer list. I actually want to use him now. As also being on this menu tells me about player numbers. Right, we don't have a number 9. Leonardo or Fulkrug? Fulkrug pretty good, not in that game. And then Leonardo. Because I'm so torn, I might sign another player for that number. As with Soufal still here, and then of course Souček pinning down a contract, I'm going to bring in another Czech player. Matej Jurasek. If I've got that wrong, tell me below. He should be relatively cheap. Only 2076 rated. As here's the new number 9. Jurasek is a hammer. And of course he will train as a right mid, although he is left-footed. I don't want 2 left mids. I've already got Somerville. He's going on the right. And he does make the bench for this Premier League opener against Nottingham Forest, as that's our starting 11. And first game of the Prem. And yes, it's Nottingham Forest. I like to play the big games, but after last season, we cannot afford to sim the first game. In our orange kit this time out, as Eze need him to be better. Jose Gaia running forward, finds Nicholas Fulkrug. Decent start again, just like Liverpool in the Community Shield. But again, we need to score more in normal time. Fulkrug again. Starting very strongly, though. The goal will come. The goal will come as now Eze across, finds Kudus in the middle. And Mohamed Kudus scores our opening goal on 17 minutes. The Premier League should start well. Fingers crossed we keep this result. Bowen to Eze, and then reaching Kudus. It is three in that midfield. Feel sorry for Paqueta not in there. He is on the field, of course, just a little bit further back, as now it's Eze's turn. We should have scored 4 goals. Honestly, Forest not turning up so far. Don't be that season again where we just get loads of injuries. As half-time reached and Leonardo up front. Yes, Fulkrug dragged off, and we've just got to hope it's not a long-term one. Gotta hope also that it doesn't take the sting out of this game, because the second half starting brightly. Kudus wants to try again. And now Paqueta far forward. Of course, he does like to roam a bit. I don't mind this roaming from centre mid. Paqueta posting in. The Samba boy wanted in, and he's copying Mikel Antonio. I don't know how he's going to feel about that, but get in. A goal for the Irons. Paqueta is just brilliant. It's just his attitude off the field. As now, can we get a third? It's Eze. An own goal off Harry Toffolo. Surely rounds it up. And I tell you what, that should be an assist for Eze. I know it's an own goal, obviously, but he got another assist for the first goal. As West Ham fan Spencer Owen says, that is an Eze masterclass. And also fans from his ex-team still in awe of the man, as he was bloody brilliant, and Fulkrug's injury is not long-term. Get in there, a slice of luck. As before we dive into a big game, I do want to go again, and a 3-2 against the Saints Southampton secures 6 points from 6. And a cup win against the Cobblers moves us on to Villa away on deadline day. And we all know who's in charge of them. Unai bloody Emery. Had a rivalry with this man almost all the way through this save, as his team 1 loss, 1 draw, 16. Whereas we are in 3rd place, and we've got to address a goalkeeper, but I'm going to do it after this game, as Ariola's playing quite well. We'd be stupid to replace a man who has just won us a Community Shield, saving penalties from Liverpool, but now needs to save Aston Villa's shots, with Kudus running the line for us. Kudus, look at the space. Can we try and score early on? Mohamed Kudus having the time of his life, firing early days against Emery's Aston Villa. This is the perfect way to be. They beat us last season at Villa Park. Not this season, Kudus. Look at that. Goalkeeper stupidly dives away from the ball, really. I think he should have saved it. Still won't catch me complaining, as in our first 2 Prem games, 3 goals each, and now it is 8 goals or 7 goals altogether. Almost 8 from Guido as the header at the near post. Marcus Leonardo starting over Fulkrug, almost scoring his first of the season. Can Paqueta help him get it? Well, that's a smart ball into Bowen. That touch was shocking. I still think he hit the post there. Was being a little bit greedy, as Jurasek on for the second half. Wasn't a fan of Bowen. I do want to test this new guy out. Here he is on the ball against Mings. Oh, does Mings. Needs to keep on running. It is Jurasek, just wide. Again, though, could say our players being very greedy in this game, as Gaia loves to run from left back, and that cross almost over the defender as Paqueta gets the lofted pass. It's Leonardo trying to pass it. That time he should have been greedy. As Eze wins it back, though, as he always does. Eze the best player, and Paqueta, Lucas Paqueta, just taps it in. Don't give him room, and then he'll do that stupid celebration, stealing from Antonio in the dressing room. Or actually, he's moved on. Don't give this man space. I'm begging you. You can see him. He's in bright bloody orange. You have got to mark Paqueta. If you don't, you're in trouble, as Jurasek. Look at his turns. He's very versatile, Jurasek. Can he get on the score sheet? Nobody wins a corner, and Carlos Soler, another new player. A ball in the middle to Somerville, and Eze again. Begging for this 3rd goal as a turn. Carlos Soler, can he get his first goal? Yes, just blasted in. Another goal in this new kit. Is it the new kits? Is that the thing? Because we've scored 3 goals in 3 Premier League games so far. Schooling Prem teams this season didn't do that last year, and beating Aston Villa, Unai will have to be quiet. West Ham United are on fire at the moment, winning 3 games out of 3 and scoring 3 in each game. Kudus, Paqueta, and our new signing all linking up to save our manager's job, because he didn't do too well last year. But sadly this season, goals may not be enough as we need to keep them out by signing a new goalkeeper. That will require money and of course getting a youth player will, which Lopetegui has to do before the end of the year. As yes, people, welcome back. Episode 2 of season number 2 of the West Ham United career mode, and we start with 42 million. Good sum of money, I know, but of course we need to get a youth player in, and I have paid for a scout, and we will go there first off. And as you can see by his rating, I have not tampered with him at all, but Theodore Cunningham, we have got a potential player this year. Came from a 5-star scout, and of course he's very young and will take a little bit of time to come. Is there a better position for him? Cam. Okay, now we have just signed a new Cam, of course. If you haven't seen the last episode, go and watch that one before this one, definitely. As yes, we've got a new wide player or a midfielder. As Eze, spoiler alert, he's our new signing and he's been on fire recently. Getting assists for the team and getting goals for the team. But it is goalkeepers we need, or one from this list here. Ramiro is up first. Alex is the backup to Manuel Neuer, of course, at Bayern Munich, still at his old age. Then we've got Andre Lunin. Then we've got Oblak, who's 31-year-old. And this off-shout from Las Palmas, Alvaro Valles. But no, I think I'm going to go Ramiro. Offer what he's worth. And 54 million? Is it even worth negotiating? I'm actually going to say no, and I'm going to check him off our list as I prefer Lunin to Oblak just because of the age difference. Can we get Lunin? Of course, a backup at Madrid, and 32.2 is definitely enough to pay for us. Have to wait to see what happens as we are on deadline day, and an offer for Harry Maguire from Stade Rennais, absolutely no chance. Maguire stays here, and Emerson, I don't mind selling. Kudus in a swap deal for Matthias Tell. That is a decent offer, and to be fair, we've got a youth player coming through our ranks. Matthias Tell at West Ham United. If they do step it to 60.5, I would actually accept it. I mean, he's good for the future, but we've only got 2 seasons left of this rebuild. A big fat no thank you, but a welcome to Lunin. Yes, our new goalkeeper is here, the Ukrainian from Real Madrid. Improves our team drastically, but as you can see on the bench, Areola, he seems to be unhappy. Gaffer, can't say I'm too pleased on the demotion from number 1 choice. But I get it. I'm getting old and I'm not in my prime years no more. All that I ask is I get my chance in Europe, as I didn't get that at PSG and Real Madrid when I was previously there. Fair enough, Alphonse. You did get us to Europe, so you will play your part. Mark my words. You will play your part, as I've simmed 2 games. You can see United and Fulham, where we scored another 3 goals to get us into the Europa League, which we will play the first game of. Braga, interesting, the team from Portugal. As here's the other teams. We've got Brondby and Dynamo Zagreb I do like playing because you get to see their youth talent. Had the likes of Modric and of course the keeper Livkovic. As our keeper for this game will be Areola. And our striker for this game, well, it has to be Fulkrug, because so far in 3 games, he hasn't scored a goal. Needs to build his confidence as we are at home for this one. The London Stadium hosts European nights again. As speaking of European nights, the striker we're saying hasn't scored a goal recently played in the biggest one, the Champions League final. Scary hasn't scored yet as Somerville, into him right now. Fulkrug gets away from his man and does blast it at another. That's the first chance of the game as well. 20 minutes into this one. I know it's just New Europe, but Braga we should be beating. Poor from Nicholas again, and we need to try and slide in there. Areola had to save. They've been the better team. And Bruma scores first. Remember this guy ages ago? He had a decent FIFA card, and now scores against us on FIFA. This isn't the start we needed, especially in the Europa League, as Wan-Bissaka centrally. Eze to try and shoot. Literally hopeless without Kudus, who I did rest as Fulkrug. Now, again, he's been tackled. As at half-time, well, he's got to come off the field, because at the moment, He's just a German Andy Carroll. Although Andy was quite good, and come on, we need a good start to the second half. It's Somerville running away with it. Too quick for himself, as that's a good header back though to Bowen. What a save! What a save, the keeper! Need magic from the corner though, as that is a pass inside from Eze. Now Somerville, Soler, Maguire, Harry Maguire gets round his man. Maguire into the box. Oh my days. How fun would it be if he scored? Or really anybody at the moment, as Somerville threw them two players. Eze, Leonardo in front of Eze. Leonardo scores! Equal at the London Stadium, and it is the replacement for Fulkrug, who really isn't doing well. Look at this from Leonardo. Gets onto the last man and just hits it across the goalkeeper, who has been pretty decent this game. Still, we ain't finished though. We want the win here late on, as Somerville, edge of the box. Gaia uses Paqueta. Now Paqueta gets it back. That's surely handball, and we can still keep it here. Jared Bowen on the spin. Surely handball, but still we've got Ward-Prowse now on for corners, but Eze looking for Bowen. It might not be our night, you know, and it isn't. Oh well, we just couldn't break them down. You win some, you lose some, and we actually haven't lost this. Julian, an opening night draw with Braga. Yeah, a difficult one to take, but we didn't lose the game, of course. Exactly how I said it, and the Premier League is our focus. Well, it looks like that anyway. We are top of the table. Only 5 games gone, and we do have Coventry next, who I'm guessing, yep, they're near the bottom of the Sky Blues. Think we all know what happens. Coventry oh no, they don't get the win. A Leonardo brace sees him joint top scorer with Mo Kudus back in the team. 7 goal contributions. And let's hope he's kept it up. In the league, it definitely looks like he has. We are out of the cup, and we did draw a Europa League game. But still, we hold top spot, 22 points, and our next game is the Bottlers Spurs. And when we look at the team, we are going with the usual. It's Lunin's debut in goal, but the big shock is on the bench. Jurasek we paid a lot of money for, and he's injured. Still, come back very quickly. Then again, maybe don't, as he has just changed to a cam. But is this the time that Theodore Cunningham makes his West Ham debut? Could you imagine if he scores? Now, we're not going to force that to happen. It would be a good narrative, but we are a team against the rivals. Trying to stay top as Jared Bowen running through here. Leonardo slipped through. Marcus Leonardo. Really like the room he finds, and he's even back tackling here. Guido Rodriguez. My days, pass it quicker. And yes, we're in the Barbie kit. Tottenham fans probably laughing, but won't be laughing after we beat them. Early bit of dominance, which just needs a goal as Kudus is through here. He passes it at Vicario, hits the post on the rebound. How we could have used that as Richarlison through right now. We've got to get the ball off him. Souček, you idiot. As a penalty to Spurs, and you guys tell me about sliding. Now, sometimes I can't help myself, and that was one of those times. If he was better at slide tackling, I think we would have got the ball, as Lunin conceded on his debut, and it's a penalty from Heung-min Son. Oh, we beat them last year. Come on, we need to beat them again. Let's make it a classic comeback again. Leonardo, he's through on goal. It's a save, and then a tap-in. Guido is onside. I thought it was off for a second there, so yeah, instantly level again. I think a common theme in this West Ham save is scoring when you just don't expect it, either at the start of the game or either just at a random patchy moment. As that's the halftime whistle, and we just need to go again. Come on, lads, it's Tottenham, the 13th, and we are first. And Captain Bowen. Now, I talked about Fulkrug. Bowen's played more games. He's got no goals as well. Leonardo into Paqueta. Paqueta with room. I believe in him as he's won the ball back into Eze. Now, can Eze find Leonardo? He does. He's in front of the defender. Marcus Leonardo. Oh, he's missed. And can you believe that? A solid chance for 2-1. I think when you miss them chances, it tells you the day's done. So Somerville on, Fulkrug, and also Cunningham. It is what the board wanted, not what I wanted, because this is a huge game to play him, but he's allowed to run into the box. It is Cunningham. His shot That's the shot of a youth player. And can he do it again? Because he's running into the box right here, finding Fulkrug, who shifts it. Fulkrug with the shot, and he just doesn't score. Just not Fulkrug. And maybe one more chance in this game. If we're onside, it's Cunningham again. He finds Eze. Now, if we're not scoring those ones, means the game is done and dusted as another 1-1 draw. But we should still be top. As after that game, it is time for Europe, baby. A 2-0 win. And yes, Bowen finally scores. Delighted for him as he might not against City. I mean, that's giving it a good go. Still 3-1 losers. But still, that's our first defeat. 4 above City and 2 above Chelsea. Who would have believed this? Definitely not the board, who say they apologise. As things this season just look like they've turned. Good league form and the cup form we don't care about this season, but one thing we do care about is Theodore Cunningham. Now, you can't predict your youth players, and of course you just signed Jurasek, so we feel like a loan would be acceptable for Theo. But Julian says no. I actually want to use him here. He probably won't start games, but there's no backup for Eze. Paqueta's playing deeper, Kudus now out wide. So yeah, our youth player will get a run of games. And you can see that makes him happy as he does start in the team for the reverse game against Braga, which we do lose this time. Lee's Fulkrug scored, and we do look kind of through. Yes, it's not certain so far. We probably have to play another game. Still, the odds in our favour as Edson Alvarez stays at an 84, but now is a centre-back. As he won't be in this team, because yes, we're not through, but with us looking likely through, I have spruced it up a bit. Here we go, here's the decider, and Ward-Prowse in the team, making a tackle straight away. So I'm going to say one thing I don't say on this channel. If you are enjoying the video, don't forget to subscribe. It's completely free, and hey, might give Theodore Cunningham some luck. The lad needs it as he's played a ball down the line though into Jurasek. He's not injured anymore. He had a 1-month injury. Now playing it into Leonardo, who's through. Shoots and definitely should have had an opening goal. Don't tell me he's now missing chances as Guido has been scoring a few. Cunningham with the gap though. Theodore Cunningham going through the gap and strike inside netting. The youth player scored in his Europa League debut. Or maybe it isn't, sorry, but remember the number 17 scoring for West Ham. He's the next Mark Noble, the next Declan Rice, and that is a clean strike as well. Get in there, Theo. 1-0 the Irons. Lovely jubbly as Harry Maguire, a huge tackle from him. He's back in the team. To be fair, he's been decent here at West Ham. As solid as a rock as Cunningham. Good header onto Fulkrug on for the second half. I just want him to start scoring regularly. Finding him in the middle again, but there's Cunningham in a better position to shoot. I mean, that was a bit of a tame shot. Still, he did get his shot off, and now he's passed it into Jose Gaia, the left back going centrally. Gaia going all the way. As we do need one more. Come on, Bowen down the side into the box. Jurasek scores his first goal, putting West Ham through to the knockouts. And hey, that number 9 shirt finally come in handy, because he scored the same as Fulkrug. Lopetegui impresses as Emery packs up. Looks like he's lost his job, which hopefully ends that narrative. As speaking of narratives, that month is solid. We've got 3 wins in the league and 1 away at Anfield. Still top of the table, you know, 19 games gone now. So yes, City have a game in hand, but for that, I'm not worried. Just Champions League football is success in my eyes. There's also another way to get that is by beating Galatasaray. Last episode out, we signed a goalkeeper from one of Europe's best clubs. But our signing news was shortly overshadowed by a brilliant youth player shining in the academy. Theodore Cunningham found his way in through injuries and played very well in our last Europa League game. As we hope he can shine in the league and in the knockouts, as that is what we go into today with Galatasaray. Yes, people, a big test today. As you can see, the team's all over the place. We changed it, and Cunningham sat in the cam position. We've got Eze, we've got Paqueta, but honestly, I might keep this guy in, and also, Anyone else think he looks like Bazinga? West Ham fan himself as, whoa, what's with the injuries? We've got Souček out for 2 months, then Alvarez 4 weeks. That's us without centre-backs, but 17 million. We'll probably need a bit more, but we could go out and sign a new one. As we do enter January and the FA Cup, as 2 games against Luton, they're going to be fun. They're going to get simmed as Louis Zhao, the defender, 71 rated now in the team. And is that going to show in game? Well, it doesn't actually. A 3-0 win and actually Fulkrug scoring a goal. That's unlike him. As you can see, this is unlike us, but top of the league with most of the games in hand played. And we need to sell players, as the first bid we get is for our set piece taker from Tottenham, Ward-Prowse. And he does have them set pieces, and yes, it's a direct rival, but I don't think he's played well. Just give us that extra bit of money. As there he goes. I mean, Tottenham are our rivals, but giving them a 30-year-old, only 79 rated. Don't think it really harms us. And 32 million. Now, we do need a new centre-back who can keep us top of the league. And with us only having 2 seasons, age doesn't really matter. I want experience at winning things, and preferably the Premier League. We are top at the moment, and Manuel Akanji, yes, he does play for Man City, but they have signed better players. I mean, look at their bloody options. They've got Ake already, Bastoni, Diaz, and then youth prospect Harwood Bellis. So I think we can have this man. We've just got to be careful on the wages. 30 million. They do say yes to. As he jumps from 2nd place to 1st place, keeping that number 2 shirt and becoming a hammer. Excellent signing for us, and I am desperate to use him. So he's going to play his ex-rival Manchester United away. And we saw what Liverpool did to them. And our back line, by the way, against United, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, and Akanji. 2 ex-players and then 1 ex-rival going on a run here. Manuel Akanji, look at the pace in the snow as he pulls it back. Looking for the right pass though, as now it's Leonardo's turn. Kudus with the speed, beats Araujo to the ball. Goodwin in charge of United still. In our save as Guido, can he hit this? He does, and Araujo with the block. Close to the opening goal as we've been completely dominant here. Now Paqueta instead of Ward-Prowse. Maguire almost scores. That would have been perfect. A decent cross from Paqueta. Who needs Ward-Prowse when you got Eze and Paqueta as this ball's still in? But given away sloppy by Maguire, who should have scored, and Correa. Good save, Lunin. Good first half overall, as I'm gonna make a shock change. Cunningham for Eze. Let's see if this works as, oh, Angel Correa, he slipped past Harry Maguire too easily, and that is the opening goal. Correa for United, man. I knew they would score first. I just had a feeling. They've been dreadful all game. Just struggle against United though, but Leonardo, here he goes. He's against the centre-back and gets inside. Leonardo to shoot. Fine save by the keeper, as now Kudus to whip a ball in, and that's Cunningham. Theodore! Or he should have scored. That's the game done, and I just cannot beat in career mode series as Manchester United. Manuel Akanji flops at West Ham. That's not a nice headline. I mean, it was only his debut. Oh, sorry, not his debut. I mean, he's played 25 games. They probably aren't all at us because we didn't have that many games. Between then and this, the Europa League has come on. We're going to simulate the first leg and 2-0 Galatasaray. I didn't expect to see that, and we've fallen off top spot. Man United beating us looks to have derailed our season. So what the manager's gonna do is speak to his favourite player, Edson Alvarez, or his favourite to speak to. Edson, this squad needs a huge comeback in the Europa League, as we can't let this slip, and you're back in the side. Thank you, boss. Recovery went well. I am all up for this one. And with our season overall, I am gonna keep the faith. Come on, we cannot lose it. They've got some decent players, mind you. Torreira, Zaniolo, Icardi, Zaha. Could have looked at signing him, as Akanji still in the team and Fulkrug up front alongside the new kits finally loading in. So two very bright teams as Wan-Bissaka down the line. Bowen, if he can keep on going, Jared Bowen for the early one. Saved by Muslera, but we're not going to stop right there. It is Eze into Kudus. Kudus with the low shot. Still, positivity is how we've started this game, as Fulkrug can't run, but he can find a pass out. Bowen, come on, make something happen. You've been poor all season. Shrugs his man off and hits the side netting. We're better than that, but still, them having a corner allows for a cheeky counter-attack. And Fulkrug down the side, running through on goal. He hasn't scored that many goals this season, but Fulkrug, again, saved by the goalkeeper. Which puts us into the second half. Zaniolo in the middle. That was almost a third goal. Almost a third for the Turkish side. They've still been the better side, despite the players on the field for us. As come on, Wan-Bissaka needs to go far forward quick. Somerville to run the line, and he's found a pass. The two subs linking up as Leonardo slows down for the shot. Lucky as you can be, but Marcus Leonardo does score one, so now the clock gets ticking. 2-1 on aggregate. As we still needing another one. Come on, Somerville round the corner. It is Crescencio Somerville into the box. Come on, just shoot yourself. Probably the wrong choice, but this is a very interesting game now. It's Eze on a turn, and Leonardo's found himself through on goal. Leonardo has it, and I don't think I made sense with what I was saying there, but still, get in there, Irons. But still, we can lose this tie. It's not over just yet. Zaniolo into Zaha. Things just got interesting as the corner to follow up, and it's in. It's in the goal. Zaniolo, the man who scored a brace in the first leg. That is so goddamn jammy, but we needed to clear the ball. And guess who headed it? Manuel Akanji. He's had two shocking games as we lose in the Europa League. Shocking from West Ham's new pricey defender, as we just faltered and we are getting ripped to shreds. Still, let's look at this positively. We need to keep on progressing. We've got a good youth player. We're in the top four and now out of the FA Cup. Cameron Archer after Fulkrug missed a penalty. Could you get more miserable? West Ham United team? Because this is shocking. You can see the keeper's very annoyed, and I would be as well. He made some great saves against Galatasaray. As the board do want to chat again, saying, Julian, look, we're not going to sack you off of this. It's a dip in our season. You told us that last year, and plus we only wanted that youth player and a top 9 finish, which you're drastically excelling. So we just need that pick-me-up. And do you have any idea what it could be? Because watching us recently, we just seem very low. As Julian says, I think I've got a perfect idea actually, and I'm gonna try it in the next game, hoping that it works. And the changes to me seem like Leonardo on the field, also Cunningham starts. I mean, it's a good idea in theory. Finally giving him a start against a half-decent team in Newcastle. The only issue with that, of course, is Newcastle are going to be good. Bruno through to Isak, and that might be a penalty. And is Harry Maguire another rotten start? As I don't want to see it again. I just want to save Isaac's penalty, which rifles top bins. 1-0 down in 6 minutes. What do we have to do to actually build some confidence around here? I've tried to change it, putting youth in, putting different, faster players on the field. But that ain't changing anything for us as Willock. Look how he skips past Lucas Paqueta. Still not trained as a centre mid, but does get the tackle in. But we lose it again, and now Almiron. No, this is bad. This is a game we were supposed to build the confidence with. And sort it out, lads. Seriously do, because at the moment, how we play in, it's a sackable offence. As Somerville, come on, he was the lively spark in the second half against Galatasaray when we need to do the same here. Shot blocked, but the ball falls back to us, and Kudus find a man in the middle. Somerville, another man, it's Paqueta, and that's surely handled. With handball switched on, I have no idea why that wasn't given, as Wan-Bissaka now with a cross. Decent cross towards Marcus Leonardo. With the urgency picked up, and now Somerville, he's doing him every time, is Crescencio Somerville. A pass in the middle. middle, nobody there. Nowhere to be seen, but hang on, he's got the ball, and that's a smart turn. Does Sven Botman, and that's one back like last time. Just need to do it again, as come on, Cunningham, prove why he should have started, and he's done the defender again. Sven Botman, as Cunningham's through, he's got to score right here, and the youth player does. It may be a 2-2 draw now. The youngster as well. It may not be a win, but come on, you've got to feel good. A comfortable finish as well, and I will fully take a point here. So West Ham felt heartbreak with a late goal from Galatasaray's Zaniolo, the winger, stopping our progression. Followed by abysmal March period sees us scrapping for the top 4 as we just hold off Spurs. The board quietly cautious, but Lopetegui calm as he said he had a plan to turn the sinking ship around. And it kind of worked, picking up a draw against Newcastle in the dying embers with our wonder kid, Cunningham. Yes, people, welcome to a very upside-down team, but Cunningham was in it. We had to change some things up. The team looks like it's struggling as well with fitness and all over. We've got Paqueta not in position. We've got Lunin unhappy, despite being a new signing. As speaking of new signings, we've got Jurek to a right mid. At least we can play him in position. And Paqueta not far off, as I want to ignore that month we've just had. Apart from City and Liverpool, I fancy our chances here. Because looking at the table, we don't really have to focus on finishing in the top 4, maybe winning the league. Man City sit above us with 1 point, and also we did take away one of their winning players, or one who's won a lot, Manuel Akanji, but he didn't start off well here, so that's why he's on the bench. As I prefer this man, Harry Maguire, who's had a mini rivalry here, but he needs to keep his form up. Harry, this is your chance. You are going to start above Akanji, as I'm trusting you in our top 4 race. We need a calm head, and especially against City, I feel you're the man to do the business for West Ham. And yes, against City, I trust Paqueta to play well, so Harry Maguire needs to prove himself, and also Theodore Cunningham. He stays in the team after a goal last time at Newcastle, and he's cut inside of City's defence. Cunningham to score first! And should have done, really should have, as Paqueta. We don't have Ward-Prowse. That's a decent ball. Where's Harry Maguire when you need him? Well, he's not here in the defence as Camavinga. That is terrible. That is shockingly bad. City are beatable as Cunningham. That is a better ball, and Paqueta, the man that City were after, scores at the Etihad and does his little spin on the bottom, as I've realised the kits haven't loaded again, but I do not care at this moment in time. A very fine finish as our number 10 gets through, and when we're on bad form, beating City ain't bad. Quality first half. As Leonardo's not done much up front, I might try Fulkrug in this game just to be a bit more defensive. Thinking he can head a ball as now Maguire. We're getting trapped here. That is good passing out though. 2 ex-United players against Manchester City as Cunningham. Go for it yourself, mate. Or maybe now feed Fulkrug. Unlucky for my youngster. He will get it next time as Doku. Oh, Haaland. It's a save by Lunin and another save by Lunin. Oh, dear. And we've lost the ball here. No, not this late on. A sweaty goal for Grealish, man. Just throwing it away. Maguire solid all game, and then Grealish just taps it in. I don't want to see his feet. I don't want to find out how he scored again. As a point against City, still good enough, but Haaland into Doku, a block. Maguire with a head away. Good stuff, but stuff that's not going to win us this game as Grealish. We need to get a tackle in, as that was a very good shot at our goal. Harry Maguire happy with it as Stiller draws a decent result. Lunin collects that ball, and Haaland slams into him. Ooh, and can we break on it, you know? Eze, fresh face on the field. Cunningham's just come off, and Gaia running all the way. It's Jose Gaia, a good shot. And an even better save, Ederson, as I think that's going to be the game. And a point against City. And it seems as soon as the game's finished, the board wants a word with the manager. Julen, a lot better. That's how we play football. A draw against City, who will be going on to be champions, I don't see any fault with. Come on, we just want Champions League now. But Lopetegui says no, we want to be beating City. You shouldn't be pleased with this, because I'm not for this club. I don't think we should have loaned out Cunningham. I think we should have beat City. So yes, we've gone through a rough patch, but I'm still demanding more. Which are fair words from the manager, and we're going to build on a little bit. Spurs have jumped above us, but we do still sit 4th. Do we back it up against Brighton? No, we don't. That was a really needed result, and we lose to João Pedro. And did we buy the wrong Brazilian? Because he's got 11 goals and 1 assist. He hasn't played too many games. And Eze, I am sorry. I've wanted to play Cunningham, you know, 2 goals in 9 games, but he's got 16 and 13 assists. Need to open my eyes more as form has picked up going into this next game. Is Champions League football guaranteed? No, but a 9-point gap is a very good feeling, as the only 2 big clubs we play now are 7th and 8th. Starting with the 7th best, Liverpool. We're above them, so unlike Manchester City, we should actually be beating these, and an early chance right here. Leonardo's found himself through their defence. Shocked, and we should have scored it. Unlucky, but we're flooding forward. You wouldn't see this from full Krug, and Leonardo goes to shoot. That wasn't a bad effort. Lopetegui still looking annoyed as head that away Wan-Bissaka. Liverpool still a threat, but look at that for a touch from Leonardo running through on goal. You don't get that from full Krug. Can he get inside of his defender? Maybe just shoot here. Okay, that's my bad, as now Jota through the middle. A good pass, Mohamed Salah. Maguire, just get it away. As that header from Jota... Oh my days. That has gone in. That little header in a split second. Gobsmacked. Look at Maguire. I thought the move was over after Gaia headed the ball. And then Jota gets it overrunning somehow. Terrible first half, I guess. We should have had some goals from Leonardo, but no. Diogo Jota is the man to split the teams. And he wasn't really marked well. Diogo Jota going through. Oh, and a red card. Lovely for Guido. Just what we want in this run-in. A sent-off midfielder. Definitely a penalty, wasn't it? As now this could get tasty for them, but it doesn't. Lunin saves the penalty. And McAllister goes wide as now Kudus on a run. I mean, he couldn't, could he? As he's got a man in the middle, maybe pass it. Does late on, and Eze. Good save, Alisson. Guess that's what we've missed with Eze actually on the bench, as now Salah. Don't let him in. Oh god, I've slid in again, and I think they might just score anyway. They do. There was no marking. Jota gets another one doing the Volta celebration. I mean, that was so 2022. We're going into FC 25 now. That would have been embarrassment, but it still could be. Wan-Bissaka, I've slid in stupidly again. It's a save, and the hat-trick rolls in. Jota, been amazing. I mean, full Krug. I think he's got injured again on the field. I'd rather replace him with Jota. But I think a man that actually comes to the London Stadium permanently after scoring a hat-trick there won't be loved by the fans. And to make matters worse, there is a press release after the game linking Lopetegui to the current Sevilla job. Would they really want him back though? Didn't he win a Europa League there? I mean, focus on ourselves though. We could be in the Europa League. That defeat, well, just keeps us in the race, but if Liverpool win another game, it's only 6 points off the Red Men. Then again, the league is still winnable as a big bid for Fulkrug. We've got 31 million offered from Milan over in Italy. I'm not going to be greedy. I'm just going to accept it. I don't think we'll use him in our final season. I know he's 83 overall, but only 6 goals in 29 appearances, plus he's picked up an injury. Seems like his age is catching up to him. But will Liverpool be catching up to us as we're going to sim Arsenal? A 2-2 draw might be enough for us. Still, we're not mathematically there. 7 points the gap, and Liverpool must have lost because United have actually jumped above them. And what do I do here? Because we play Leeds United at home and Manchester United away at Forest could give us Champions League. And I've tried loading kits in again, it just doesn't want to bloody load them. As come on, against Leeds there is a little bit of rivalry here. Always a tasty game, as if you guys in the comments could tell us the reason why, and also whilst you're down there, subscribe. We want to hit 5k before the end of the year, as Jared Bowen, he's not done much this season and still won't. Needs to hit them with more venom as Paqueta gets the ball in front of him. Lucas Paqueta, almost a centre mid, and that's just hit Darlow. Good save in reality as Leonardo. Come on, Bowen, get this one right. Cuts inside. That was actually better. Trying to get myself in that bottom bin as now Kudos Putting down the wing, can Kudus keep on going here? We're trying to hit them on the angle, but Leeds doing everything to stop us taking the lead against Leeds. As now Guido just hit that straight in the face of Llorente, falls to Paqueta to strike, and another one not far off. As how at the interval are we not rocking Leeds United? Actually a good idea maybe to play a psychological effect is put Somerville on the wing instead of Kudus because he's an ex-player from them. Lopetegui with the mind games as Guido. Give it to Somerville. Come on, Somerville, against your former club. You would want to do something here. Somerville into the box and almost scores a goal for us. But it is still not going in as now Jared Bowen into Leonardo. Could have passed it, Leonardo. He maybe needs a bit more help. And one player that has helped him is this lad Cunningham. Complement each other well as, they took Cunningham out. He had a run there, but instead it is Somerville through the middle and he's still onside, somehow staying onside, and there is the finish for Somerville against Leeds at its new home. That will sting for Leeds fans like it stung me getting them words out. A brilliant finish, Cristencio. West Ham maybe Champions League? I'd feel better though if we did add another goal as Cunningham. Look at the footwork, it is Cunningham still going and had to score. I think legally changed his name from Cunningham to Champions League Cunningham, or even Tricky Toes Tio, as now Gaia with a cross in. It's Leonardo. What a finish. What an absolute finish. Maybe the goal of the save, and he celebrates like that's Champions League. Our first ever signing, Gaia, just creates it with a dinked cross, and on the right peg, look at that, post and in. And that, ladies and gentlemen, has a lot of West Ham fans happy, cautiously happy it seems, as Man United have not finished their game. As our manager takes his interview, as they ask about Fulkrug, Nicholas will move on. He's had his days up at West Ham here. But also, what does he think to these links to Sevilla back in his home country? This is all speculation, at least I think at the minute. And do we have Champions League? Yes, we do. Liverpool cannot catch us. It's mathematically done now. We can't win the league as well. Big shame. Man City drew 12 games, so they were technically very catchable, but I'll take a second place. Then again, it's mathematically done, and I think I'll give some chances to the new players like Akanji and all the Czech lads in the team. Also, Cunningham thrown in there as a 2-1 win, and it's Somerville on form. Is he a player to watch out for next year? If he can do it against Brentford, which he doesn't, he gets a yellow card, and Shard with the goal. So 1 win, 1 loss. But after that game, a major breaking news story as Lopetegui agrees terms with Sevilla back in Spain. Julian, what is this about? You're not leaving us after this season. We've just got Champions League. I don't want to be looking for a manager. Spain is my home. Sevilla, I've had success there. I didn't agree with some things, like sending Cunningham on loan. The result against Man City was not winning mentality. I want to go back home. I'm sorry, I've had a good time here. I just don't know what to say. I thought last season was behind us. I don't want to get another manager in. Sorry, but you're just going to have to tell the chairman for me. As my time is done here at West Ham, I am going back to Sevilla. We start our final season here with West Ham, trophyless season 2, and now without a manager. Julian Lopetegui's tactics did get us top 6, but then he snaked us to slide off to Sevilla back in his home country. A very horrible feeling as we need to start this season interviewing managers to see who takes over, and that's alongside keeping player morale high, winning games and spending a lot of money. As yes, people, I'm usually excited for episode 1s, but I'm not actually this time. I'm extra excited. Went a little bit extra there as the budget this season. Now, we didn't just finish top 6. I didn't want to spoil it all, but we finished top 4. Unbelievable for the Irons, as this is our current team and all these players are staying here. And the reason I say that is because on the bench we don't have Fulkrug, but we do, if you do realise, have some new kits on. As these are this year's, big shout out to Billy as always for making them, and this is similar to last year's but with that slight difference. I really like the waves on the kit, just a modern feeling. We had like bubbles last year, and now we're going modern again. And then this away kit, I absolutely love this as well. The black and white and the badge in the the middle. That's something I'm a big fan of. Also reminds me of Grimsby, which is a huge plus in my eyes, and we are going to score goals in this kit. I can just feel it. As the penultimate one, the third kit. This is a bit va-va-voom, I'd say, a little bit out there, but third kits always have to be, hence why I love it. And I love how this goalkeeper kit just threads into, well, Areola's shoes in this case. Made him look like he had skins on. As you can see, our first game of this season, I've gone straight onto the calendar realising the Champions League doesn't pop up yet. And it's Aston Villa, who we used to have a big rivalry with. Now our manager's gone. And of course, Emery got sacked. And what's this? Unai Emery is meeting with the board man, the representative, and he is sitting down on the sofa. Unai, thanks for coming. Now, we used to have a rivalry, but since our manager walked out, we're open to suggestions. Attacking, defensive, or do you have a certain style that meets in between? I think this West Ham team has a lot of potential, and ignore what happened at Villa. I was sacked after a bad start, but if we get off to a good start here, trust me when I say this, I love claret and blue clubs. And I've been in the Champions League before, last year, with Villa. That's a bit of a tricky one, as we'll go into the transfer market a bit straight away, and a striker for Lunnin. A swap deal for our keeper, and we only do have one striker, but I am going to turn that down. You know what? With Lunnin? I know he is quite new, and he submitted a transfer request himself, and I am open to offers. I will listen to what comes in. He hasn't really been awful, and Real Madrid want him back. They're not taking him this time, and PSG aren't having Wan-Bissaka. He's gonna stay ours, as the normal thing really to do is go and buy a striker. I do love Marcos Leonardo, but when you look at the bench, it is only bloody Cunningham and Jurasek who aren't good enough. We need more attacking options here, and decent enough options with us having Champions League, as these are the three players I do have in mind. First of all, Tammy, who's a London lad, now at Brentford, been at Chelsea, Villa, and I think Bristol City. They're not all in London, and I'm going to take him off the list. It was a thought, as Šeško looks a lot better. The Slovenian, 22 years old. But also Balogun, who's had a little stint in the Premier League with Arsenal, and to be fair, he does look quite good. He has more pace, Šeško with the height, but I am leaning towards him. 50 smackaroonies and a release clause, which I'm definitely not going to pay. I know we can afford to pay it, but I'm going to speak directly to him. Offer bang on his evaluation, and they want 75. As what if we offer 68 plus someone like Souček? Oh, that is going to be enough to get Šeško, so he joins West Ham, and we do have our star striker. Do feel bad for Leonardo, took over immediately, but Šeško with them crosses in from both of our tricky wingers, plus Eze behind him, but I do feel sorry for these two more, Kufal and Jurasek. They've just lost a Czech buddy. As good luck to Souček, Mr. Potato Salad, and a very good penalty taker, won us 2 trophies with them. As speaking of winning trophies, this just gets more interesting. David Moyes is now being re-interviewed. David, we've had our fun and our luck over 2 stints. What makes you so sure you can make it a third and more successful one? Well, we left off with a trophy, and you didn't get one last year. Seems like you need your man back to me, and I'm a free agent. But didn't you apply for Preston in the Championship to get a job? Maybe I did, but still, West Ham is my home, you know. Well, sorry to David Moyes, but we decide if it's his home, as we have got a big bid in from Man United for Kudus. 85.8 million. That's going to be our struggle this season. Not playing in all these competitions, but keeping our players here. As we've rejected that one, and a bid in for Theodore Cunningham. That is definitely not enough for him. And another bid for Lunnin, as it looks like the media has picked up on the Kudus rumour. Man United speculated, will that change the mind of our player? Well, judging by his happiness, he is currently unhappy, but we don't have a manager to speak to him, so we need to get a manager pronto. As this is going to be interesting. Is that Cesar Azpilicueta? It is. The board say, Cesar, what are you doing applying for a job? Well, I think it's my time to go for it. I've helped behind the scenes a few times. But I want to be the main man, and London is where I like to live. Yes, I have played for Chelsea, but I like this new shade of blue. Alongside a bit of claret, I am ready to take this job on. Well, thank you for applying. I guess you do have a bit of knowledge. We'll get back to you shortly. You're an interesting one, Cesar. Very, very interesting, as these bids are for Lunning. I know I said I'd look at them really, but I'm not considering them. And not for Wan-Bissaka. Geez, this video is just going job interview, player bid, job interview, player bid. As this is the final one, and is that Zizou? I'm guessing it is, because he has stunned the board representative. This West Ham project intrigues me. I'm playing against Lopetegui in La Liga. I know he's good, and he's done good as well here. This could be my chance to get back into management. Will you grant me that opportunity? I will bloody try and take it. Well, if you can promise you're going to put everything into us. Is this just an insurance choice though? Do you just want to be here until a big club comes in for you? Well, I won't lie to you. Yes, I'm not going to be loyal here. I want to start the project, end it, and move on to pastures new. Well then, that's interesting. That interesting I've lost track of all the transfers and everything. We're approaching the start of the season. Our pre-season was a loss to AC, a win against Sociedad, and then a loss to Villarreal, who will all be teams we face in the Champions League. But for now, it's into Villa first. An interesting first tie, of course. And this is the team I'm thinking of. A lot of first teamers not got played. Guido out of position a bit, and this is going to take some fixing for whoever's in temporary charge. And I know you guys wanted a certain person, but with Sir Mark Noble not having a player in-game face, we have gone and got a new caretaker, Frank Lampard, an ex-Hammer. As how can Super Frank do on opening day in the Premier League at the London Stadium? Can he use a bit of his experience? He always squeezes his way into good jobs somehow, and he's got Paqueta, Eze and Guido. Some good midfielders like him to coach, but some unfit faces, and Akanji with a good tackle. He needs to start off well this season. Guido with a run. He's the player out of position, and we've got Šeško starting the game, but he's going to go back post. Took away from Bowen, still needs a reply here. With Wan-Bissaka now putting a ball towards Šeško. That's what his height does. No swing. Positive start for the Irons, as the first game always tough, and that is a good ball through, and it's going to be Eze to strike at Martinez. Shot straight off the bat though. Flying out of the gates, as now they've had a mini attack right here, but Šeško, what can he do? On his own is the big Slovenian, but now he waits for Jared Bowen, and look at that pass from a striker. Bowen lets it go across him a little bit. Oh, and he's still rubbish. At the moment, should I say. Shouldn't use the word rubbish, as now Paqueta. He goes for one of them long ranges, and again, not far off. I remember beating these easy 3-0 in our third game, as Mohamed Kudus is his head on it. Of course, with the rumours to Manchester United, who aren't in the top 4, I don't think. And that's a good ball through to Šeško, who should have got his opening goal. Should have scored on his debut. Maybe with some different helpers. Oh, Guido, how you missing that? Gaia with the recovery. A good tackle. I'm trying to get Somerville on, but this could be good, you know. It is Šeško on a run again on his own. Cuts inside of the defender. Benjamin Šeško to fire one. Ends the debutant's day, as that's a good tackle. Now Somerville, the subs may work right here. It is Marcus Leonardo trying to get his start and score. He's off the crossbar and hit the face of Moreno. As a very lively opening day, I think we'll end with just a point, as Lunning keeps us in it. Oh my days, he keeps us in it. What a save from the goalkeeper, has just had this ball away. Guido is done terribly again. And that is the end of the game. Aston Villa and West Ham, two outside contenders for the Champions League, drawing their first game, which was very exciting. If only West Ham fans shared that sentiment, saying boo. I'm picking out a player in particular, Guido's involvement. I thought it was bad as well. The position's not suiting him no more. And Paqueta, he's a cam, but we do have his position to change. As finally he is ready, and he doesn't even get an upgrade. To be fair, he's left-footed. Maybe I need to swap him and Guido. So there we go, I've gone and done it. But also I might take him out fully. Soler's not had an opportunity. So let's give this new man a go. Looks a little bit like Frank Lampard, even from a distance, as we're going to simulate Palace. Please just be a win. A 2-2 draw at Selhurst Park. Years back we had fun here, it was our playground. I mean, Šeško with 2 goals either side of the break. At least the debutante's doing better. Or I can't really call him debutant. I mean, he has averaged a good rating, and the team we play next is that team that was always after him. Arsenal, and bids just flying in for Wan-Bissaka and Lunin, which we are going to ignore, and we still do have Frank Lampard. At home against the Arsenal, it needs to be better than Aston Villa, and that is a kit I own. Number 7, with Saka on the back. I do like Arsenal's kit, but I like our kits better from Billy, as we need to try and get at them right here. Carlos Soler still staying in this midfield. Want to use him in game as he's running at the defender right here, and he's got a ball into Jared Bowen. Should have scored an opening goal there. Early bit of play, and they've just tried to take Paqueta out. I saw Eze down, getting back up, and that is a poor shot. But what's even poorer is we've lost Eze to an injury immediately, so Cunningham gets a big chance here. As if he wants to make the Champions League squad, he's got to impress right here as Šeško's won the ball far forward, drilling it towards Theodore. Not quite reaching his man though, and Šeško, that's a good ball. Cunningham cutting through the middle of Arsenal, our youth player. That's the goal we needed, and it's Theodore Cunningham off the bench in the first half with an impact. What do you ask from your number 17? Absolutely stupendous. Look at this, just running through at Ramsdale, who's terrible in the goal, and 1-0 to the Irons. This is more like it, as oh dear, that's more like Arsenal. Saka in the box, Manuel Akanji playing better this year. Also, Jose Gaya just holding his man off with ease, and now Soler. Get that through the middle. It's Cunningham pulling all the strings. Theodore Cunningham, he's made him slip. That was absolutely stupid from the defender as he whips it in, looking for Šeško. He's not that bloody tall. He is tall, and he's good with his feet as he's through on goal right here, and he scores against the club that wanted him. 2-0 at the break, and it's Benjamin Šeško. 3 goals, 3 games. He may be a fan favourite sooner than we think. No Eze, no problem. Of course, sorry to Ebereche. Hope he gets better. But we're getting better. Loving the way we've played this game as Cunningham cutting through that gap. They're just taking him out now. It's Declan Rice, one of our old boys. As long as he doesn't keep the ball away and get a stupid yellow card again in this game, he'll be fine. As Alvarez looking with a power shot for our third. As look at that, Mohamed Kudus. He's got the afterburners on. He could make it 3. Mohamed Kudus through on goal against Arsenal. We're still all over Arsenal though as Šeško. Can he work with Cunningham? They've worked together well so far. Look at that for a dink. It's Cunningham again. 3-0. Brace for the little man who didn't start. He wasn't on the bench in the first game. You cannot get rid of Theo. And seriously, Šeško, they're going to have a very good partnership. The dink over the top and the finish, absolutely exquisite. A 5-star display, but I'm looking for 4 goals to go with it. A brilliant tackle, and now Cunningham. He worked with Šeško again. Look at that terrible defending Gabriel. Šeško wants to join in the fun, going round Aaron Ramsdale and grabbing the 4th. It is just getting silly now. Šeško celebrates, 2 players on a brace. 4-0 against Arsenal. Šeško just a cheat code, and now Bowen. Look at Jared Bowen, he hasn't scored in a while, and he goes down for the penalty. And there's only one man to take it. He's got the most power in the squad. It's going to be Šeško for the hat-trick ball. Can he finish this in? Aaron Ramsdale in the goal. 5-0 at the London Stadium, and the new signing now has a hat-trick against the club that wanted him. West Ham iron out Arsenal in a fantastic display. 5 goals to 0. That is a sign of things to come. As Frank Lampard, he's not the permanent manager, but does go to the press conference, asked about the display and if he knows if he's got the job yet. Well, the club are looking into things. Behind the scenes, a lot going on. I don't think I'll get it, but I do love this club and will stay until needed. Well, what's your big next move then? Inside or outside of West Ham? Well, I'll tell you straight right now, there's an Arsenal player I need a word with. So with Lopetegui gone and 4 managers interviewed, Frank Lampard counts his days as caretaker manager. With the board ready to announce who our new manager is today, they wait on Frank as he talks to an Arsenal player. Yes, people, straight into this one, and it's a weird one because Frank Lampard's gone to talk, and we are here in the aftermath of 2 goals from this man and then 3 from this man. Our new signing, if you haven't seen it, Šeško, the striker. Absolutely unreal. Just look at that record of the top 2. We've got one with 5 goals and then one with 2 goals. But we've only got 1 goal at the moment, and that is to see what Frank Lampard's gone and done with an Arsenal player. As this is straight after the game, and this is back at West Ham. Is that Declan Rice? Our old midfield maestro? Declan, good to see you, and thank you for coming back to West Ham, which I know once was your home. And that's why I'm here to speak to you. I think you should come back. Now, I'm not saying I'll be your manager, but West Ham are doing something here. I can just feel it, and you should be a part of it. You finished 8th last season with Arsenal. Come on. The fans will forgive. You can play centre mid and centre back here? I don't know, Frank. I just think Arsenal's a bigger club. Besides, will the fans really take me back here? Yes, they will. Now, I'm going to speak to the West Ham board, but make the right decision. Your career is not long enough. As now this is Frank Lampard going back to the chairman, saying, look, I know you might be replacing me as manager. And in fact, the chairman butts in saying, yes, we know our replacement now. But go on, Frank, spit it out. We know someone was in this office earlier. Just give me a little chance to try and sign Declan Rice. The kid reminds me of myself. And of course, I think we can do it. Frank, I'll be frank with you. We do have a lot of money, but with the new manager we're getting, we actually want to give him it. As Frank says, come on, just let me have this signing. I'm not going to mess West Ham up. Let me go and do this. As here he is, Declan Rice, 26 years old, 88 rating, could be a marquee signing. And it looks like we've got the green light. This is on deadline day as well. We're going to offer 75 and they want 106. Call it 100 and take that sell-on clause off. Come on, £100 million for Declan Rice back. As ladies and gentlemen, what a huge signing. Back in an iron shirt, Declan Rice. As the papers won't leave that alone, Declan Rice back at West Ham. Pressure? Positive, negative move for the midfield maestro? They can say whatever they want, as after that deal's gone through with Arsenal, they actually want Harry Maguire, but I am not going to sell him. In fact, I want to keep most players here, as we do have an injury to one as well, Iberiche Eze. He's got a bruised shoulder for 4 days, but he should be back for Brighton, as we've got a relatively easy month, and I do want to try West Ham, or Declan Rice at West Ham, in a huge game as Guido. Of course, we've said he's been off form, so Declan Rice in the middle, and this is our new look irons, and potentially our final irons, as 9 million only left. We will see more bids flying in, but before that, who's our new manager? As ladies and gentlemen, it's the second time I'm actually saying that, but welcome to West Ham, our old rival Emery. Yes, can you believe it is Unai in charge of us? He hated Lopetegui and Lopetegui hated him. But now he's in charge of this team and he will take charge against Brighton Hove Albion, which we're going to have to play now under his new tactics. As he's going to sit down with Jose Gaya, a good choice of player because he was Lopetegui's first signing. Jose, I just want to start off with no hostility. I'm here to do a job and I know you was loyal to the old manager. He didn't like me and I didn't like him. But that is all in the past now and we only focus on West Ham. I think you've put it quite well there. I did like Lopetegui's tactics, but it doesn't matter to me who signs me or not. You're the West Ham manager and I am here to listen. A new look West Ham, and it is a little bit saddening because of course we got in the Champions League with a lot of loyal lads last year, apart from the manager snaking us as Declan Rice, wrong side of his man. That could have been a bad start. Lunning keeps his manager in it. Can't forget about Lopetegui as well. He was sacked as manager of Aston Villa, as that's a good slip. Šeško, can he look for Cunningham? No, he was tackled, but Bowen keeps on running. Jared Bowen's been quite poor. Across towards now Theodore. Rhyming us at the back. You can see we're a little bit more open, maybe tactically wise, but then again, Declan Rice should be sitting better. As here he is. He likes to go forward as well. Rice on his West Ham re-debut. West Ham's debut, boy. Re-debut. Whatever you want to call it. Declan Rice scores, and he will celebrate with the English lads that already know him from international duty. What a finish. Fine finish as well, as now Lucas Paqueta. What can he do? The Brazilian passes it inwards. Benjamin Šeško, a good touch. Very dominant first half, as he also takes set pieces. Rice, can he cross the ball as well? He does have Šeško to aim for. What is happening, though, in this team? We're good going forward, but defensively looks shocking. We have to cut out some of these errors if we are going to play in Europe soon, as Paqueta looks for another. A good long shot from the midfielder. Like him with Declan Rice, because, of course, he can get more expressive, go a little bit further forward. Cunningham back to Manuel Akanji. Close as come on. I know we're keeping a clean sheet somehow, but I just feel dodgy at the back. As Jared Bowen, that is a terrible ball. Not great at putting crosses in, is he? As Cunningham play that back. Instead, goes around Bowen into Šeško, looking for Paqueta. As changes have been made, we've gone with Leonardo. Not Šeško's day. His day was against Arsenal. As Somerville to kill this game off. Ball inside. Leonardo with a good touch. Had to score. Pushed away. And not at a great moment, because we need to kill this game off. It is good pressure from Cunningham. Leading to Leonardo. Trying to cut inside, but still, I think we've won this fixture. Unai, you must be delighted with your first win as West Ham boss. And yes, I am. It's a good feeling and we deserved it. But we must not stop here. The preparations have started for the big testers in the Champions League, which all the lads are definitely very excited for. As here is our group, and it's not the worst thing at all. We've got Slavia Praha in there, which our Czech boys should know well, being a Czech team, and then Lens and Leverkusen. They're going to be the tricky challenge. If you didn't know about real life, Bayer Leverkusen actually knocked West Ham out on their road towards the Europa League final, as we look to be going for Champions League again. 0 defeats so far. We shouldn't have had 2 draws. That's quite disappointing. Nottingham Forest and Newcastle above us. Now that is not what I expected. And I also didn't expect this. Jose Gaya is Unai's captain, so the man loyal to the old manager, actually loyal to the new one more. We're going to have to actually put to the test, though, how loyal he really is, with RC Lens away on one of them Wednesday nights. Is this a prime Champions League night? Lens against West Ham. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but it certainly is ours right now. Very excited about this one, as I made sure to dash the away kit on, or the third kit should I say, as Paqueta, early ball over to Šeško, ready to fire. That should have been an early goal, you know. Good block, as I've also gone with this man, Eberiche Eze, back from his injury and into the box. It is Eze on a Champions League night. He misses the first chance, but not the bloody second. Eze in for Cunningham, back from that injury, and he went in for fitness reasons, and he's shown he's well and fit enough. Stumbling on my words, like the Lens defenders stumbled around him. Brilliant finish. And it's good to keep him on his toes there. The goalie not alert enough, because you've got to be up and saving the second shot as Kudus. Could he try and find a good ball through to Eze again if he's onside right here? What a ball up to Eze. The goalkeeper, where's he going? It is 2-0 and an Eze brace. This is getting stilly now. This is our Champions League debut. Cannot be going any better, especially for that man Eze. Do we get to appreciate the pass though? No, it's not even on the replay. Kudus, take a bow. That ball was superb. Special goal, special man, but Lens should have been back in it. How no one's jumped on that, I will never know. A perfect chance. Hey, if they don't want to score and leave the scoring just for us to do, I'll accept that bloody fully. As Šeško on the turn. Put his scoring boots away this month as Eze, come on, you're on a hat-trick spin. Be unselfish. Kudus fed you feed him, as a ball across the box to Bowen. Jared Bowen just doesn't score. Not in his DNA, as now Šeško left with a lot of space. Look at the close control. It's brilliant, and he lays it off. Bowen, please, finally. Jared Bowen, roof of the net. West Ham enjoying Europe, and he is going to block out the haters because he hasn't played well for about a year, but now a goal in his Champs debut. And a fine one at that. Look at that. A spin from Šeško. And that finish, I mean, The keeper's been good, but he's not that good. Never saving that one as Declan Rice skips away. Declan Rice, can he join in or get an assist to Mo Kudus? So unlucky not to score, but there is the full-time whistle. What a debut in the Champions League. West Ham 3. Lens 0. And following on from that, some good results in the league. We have took our first defeat. I think that came to Southampton. But I've been simming on. And of course I am going to simulate Leverkusen here because we play them again today. And the first game of 3-2. Eze loving the Champions League. That's a hat-trick. A hat-trick in it against Bayer Leverkusen. For West Ham United. Just a shame for this guy, Theodore Cunningham on the bench. His dribbling's amazing, everything, but he just can't get past Eze again. Like every time he's done well, someone just knocks him back a peg or two as we're knocked back 2-1 by West Ham at Old Trafford. And guess who got the goal? You're right, Eberechi Eze, now an 86 rating, got an 8.29 so far. That's fantastic, and as I've been simming, we have picked up an injury. Could you actually script this game? Just stop and think about it. Eberechi Eze, broken tibia, 5 months out. I just don't believe it as well. I was just simming game to game. We've had a good run through this month. Yeah, 2 defeats, but we've gone through in the cup. We've picked up another UCL win, and we've beaten Luton. But this comes before our North London derby, which could be the final one at home, and Cunningham's time to shine, I guess. As he's back into the 11 and on the ball straight away here, it's a wet and damp and rainy, horrible day here in London. Hopefully made better with a derby win. What a ball to Mo Kudus on the angle. Just hits the chest of Vicario. Manager looking unhappy. I don't know. That was a good move as I saw Cunningham fall over there. And Kudus looking for Šeško again. It might fall to Cunningham again. Falls to Šeško and it's missed. And one player I haven't mentioned yet who should absolutely love this rivalry. Declan Rice going for one from range. Ex-Arsenal now. And a West Ham United player as Paqueta goes short with the corner. Can we hit this near post? Jared Bowen somehow got a yellow card. We dominant in every game as Bowen. That's a good spin away, you know. Jared Bowen across the deck. Come on, take a chance. Wasting all that early dominance, but the second half is already amongst us and Šeško slipping through Paqueta. Lucas Paqueta, early in the half, has to score. No excuse unless he gets an assist or a pre-assist or whatever he's going to get right now. Jose Gaya, that's got to be handled. Got away with murder, drag us in as Sony getting away from Wan-Bissaka. Heung-min Son in the box. We've got to watch the chance. How has Son always got the better of us? I hate Heung-min Son. In FIFA, not in real life, of course. Finding ourselves behind, but Mo Kudus, we like to replay against these very early on. I mean, Vicario didn't catch it. Eze would have been following up. He did against Lens as a good header, and now Cunningham to drill at them. Come on, Kudus, move out the way. It's a good move from Cunningham. He finds Edson Alvarez. What is he doing forward? And what is he doing scoring? Another one blocking out the noise. I don't get why he's doing it. He's a fan favourite. The centre-back goes forward and scores. You can see I pushed the team forward. So now we've got to get forward. Come on, it's James Maddison. Lucas Paqueta has been amazing in this second half. Paqueta picks up on it. Cunningham through, and that is a ball straight through. It's come all the way from Paqueta's tackle. Cunningham, no. He had to score. So written in the stars as the ball falls to him from the corner. Maybe written in the stars for Rice. Referee, that's got to be a penalty. Controversial London derby as Rice should have had a penalty. You can see the West Ham fans agree, but then the Spurs one's not so much. What do you guys think? Leave your comments down below, and you can see down below us in the UCL, Leverkusen, 4 points. And before we get into that game, Declan Rice, in that injury, broke his toe for 3 months. Great stuff. Oh, brilliant. We've got Šeško on a red card. Rice with an injury, Akanji with an injury. This is looking woeful. Luiziao returns. I hate having this guy around the squad. I'm sorry, I don't mean to hate on him. I just know he's not good enough. So are we good enough to get the win against Bayer Leverkusen? A draw still, somehow. They've got Ferguson, Boniface, Makoko and Wirtz I saw on that list as we do top our UCL group. And that means in the round of 16, we have Atletico Madrid. But when I switch to the Premier League, this A 12th place finish so far in the Premiership has really caught me by surprise. In the penultimate episode of the West Ham career mode, we did get a new manager and a new player. Declan Rice returns to his West Ham home ground, and Unai Emery, our ex-rival, joins us. As can the pairing work together, get goals for West Ham in the Champions League as well with the round of 16, repairing the misfortunes of a terrible start to the season, as this is it, people, the West Ham finale. As yes, people, I know I've just said that, but I've got to say it every time, and we have to rebuild our league form in 12. But I made no mistake, and yes, I just said the right thing. It was supposed to be the finale on Friday initially. But with FC 25 then, I don't really want to carry on this save, especially when results going against us that badly. You can see the league form is absolutely terrible, but some games to repair the league form, and we are going to sim through these. Starting with Bournemouth. Now, we are without some main players, a 2-1 win right there. And yes, that's repairing the Prem League. But what about this? We've got the Carabao Cup quarters with Coventry still in the draw, Brentford still in the draw. I wouldn't mind a win here, and yes, we're not rotating. And a 3-0 win does put us in a quarter-final where we will host Arsenal. And this is going to get interesting because, of course, it's Unai's ex-team, and we can't really play them. With this being the finale, I do want to prioritise the Champions League. And look on that side of the draw, apart from the game that's played above us, Wolfsburg and Atlanta, I don't mind playing any of those, Monaco, Ajax, if they can pull off big upsets. I might actually fancy us as Šeško. I didn't put him back in, he's got very unhappy, but he did have a suspension. As Unai's gonna just bring him into his office to make sure there's no issues. Benjamin, are you okay? I saw you was unhappy in training. Well, I did get suspended and I was a little annoyed I didn't play, but it's understandable. Plus, I know we have harder games coming up. And Unai agrees, saying he will be playing against Arsenal ahead of Leonardo, who might share some Champs League game time. And I thought that would work, but it hasn't made Šeško any happier, and Leonardo on the bench has gone from content to unhappy. Oh dear, and oh well, I guess, as he's going to be starting this game. You can see he's got Cunningham in support, and Paqueta is suspended. Stupid game to get suspended for, and a loss. It is a 2-0 win, and Smith Rowe, he's bloody at Fulham. At least Jared Bowen did score, and Paqueta's back for this, but we get beat 2-1. Again, a loss. And look at them semi-finals, man. Coventry and Brentford. We would have faced Brentford if we could have just beaten the Gunners. And that now upsets Rice, who's got all them red thumbs down because he's just moved from Arsenal and he's got injured straight away at the Hammers. Still only a 3-week injury, and he might just squeeze back for the away leg at the Wanda Metropolitano against Atleti. And yes, that does mean we are skipping through a transfer window. I don't want to spend any money, and I rejected bids for Kudus and for Paqueta, as Rice is inches away. I might try him on the bench instead of Soler right there. And this is the team we are playing, and we are simming the first leg. And yes, Cunningham is in the cam position. I'm still trusting the youngster. I didn't even realise as well, he's got 5-star, so if he can cause some trouble, I would really appreciate it. As we have one shot, one at this Champions League trophy, and a 0-0 in the away leg is not the worst thing at all. And guess what? Rice is actually back for this game, and I am going to change it up with Guido being trusted. Knockout Champions League, and it's Simeone versus Emery. The battle of the tacticians, but ours is slightly more attacking. Glad we have this manager, and of course, Cunningham and Šeško have been good linking up, but I'm going to go with Paqueta in the advance role. Just that Europe experience from his days at Lyonnais, and we know West Ham can do it, cause shocks in Europe, I mean. But also Atleti, as that has gone in. How has that gone in? That's completely surprised me. A dreadful start at home, as I don't even know the player that's done it. Is it Ezekiel Palacios? That is just a P-roller. A dandelion cutter, literally daisy cutter, whatever you call it, just rolling inside netting. I think Lunin should do better. Against an old rival, of course, from his Real Madrid days, and that's a terrible tackle on Bowen. Atleti football kicking in. Now they've got their goal, they will sit on it as Wan-Bissaka round the corner to Jared Bowen, looking for Šeško at the near post, and it's off the post. Tap it in. It's in from Lucas Paqueta, and both keepers doing badly. Paqueta levelling it up. That is why we're playing our number 10 in the advanced position. We've had trouble in the past. That's a lucky reply. Pavlidis and Paqueta. Now he just got a goal before they could sit back. They've got to come out now. And that's really a good time to score. Knocking on their door, rather surprisingly, Guendouzi. That is such an athletic player. A good tackle from Guido. Not sure on the pass, but Guido is doing his role better. That is Paqueta injured, man. Every time a player plays can, but we cannot stop for the injury because Declan Rice is through and he's overtouched it. My days. That should have been the goal to put us in front in this game, and at least Paqueta's back on his feet. I actually might risk him for the rest of the game as he needs to make a run right there. An injured Paqueta, he needs to grab his brace right there. A save from Oblak, and do we take him off here? I'm gonna have to do it. Right, Theodore Cunningham, you had your chance in Europe and you're getting it in the knockouts now. What a rise to fame he's had, as Guido's playing phenomenally well now. He knows Declan Rice was here to steal his position, and that is a perfectly released ball because it's let Kudus get inside of his man, Kudus to dangle it in, and Šeško to dive at it. Actually very funny, he had no chance at getting that ball, but he does right here with a good pass. Šeško on the angle, and I've got to say, Oblak a little bit shaky in this game now. He's going to be an ancient keeper, and a keeper we looked at signing. Is that a psychological effect? Maybe he wanted to be here as Šeško's got to run. It is Benjamin Šeško. How has he missed? At least we have brought another striker on now, Marcus Leonardo. I said he'd get his chance in the Champions League. He was the main man in Europe when we disappointed last year, as that's a disappointing pass. Come on, nothing sloppy right now. This is Atleti Madrid. They'll be a good team as Cunningham. He's looking for Kudus. Bad touch. Kudus rolls it in. And a goal from the man that Manchester United, Chelsea, all the big clubs wanted, but he's stuck by West Ham, the team that gave him his chance, and it's telling me to take him off. No way. A bad touch from Tar, and we've punished Atleti, as this could be a dream result. Kudus cutting inside of the field, and Kudus allowed time again. He's going to try it from range. That's the game over. Whatever he tries goes in. 2 for Kudus, and what an absolute screamer. Didn't even finish celebrating the first one, and he's got the second, absolutely killing the tie-off, and that is an all-round screamer. West Ham winners in the UCL knockout rounds. The man we signed from Ajax letting us do an Ajax. As even the papers agree, can the West Ham ex-Ajax star make them do an Ajax fairy tale-like story? I bloody well hope so, as Paqueta with the bruised leg. An 8-day injury, at least he will be back sometime. Sooner rather than later, and the Premier League's repairing itself. Only 11 games left. But now, we're not caring about it, because we've got this thing called the Champions League on our minds. Paris, Madrid, City, and Arsenal. They're all the big teams. Now, Milan is huge, but I reckon we could beat Milan. We could have beat Wolfsburg, naturally. They're the team I wanted, as we have everybody fit. Paqueta in the cam slots. Oh dear, though. A 3-1 loss. Jimenez, Kudus, Musa, and Jimenez again for Milan. Yeah, this man, the danger, not Liao, who is an 89 rating, and they do have Fulkrug. As Unai pulls his captain, Gaia, into the office again, saying, Jose, I know you used to know Fulkrug well. Both experienced players, and both played well for 2 years, and you know him inside out, so I want you in his head. The Champions League is tactical, and I need you to be tactical. So go out there, get the boys riled up as my captain, and do not let me down. We can come back here. And if our manager believes, why can't we? We've got Eze back on the bench. I've actually gone for an attacking bench this time. If we just play to the potential, I believe we can beat Milan right here. And Šeško, he's through immediately. Good save. Courtois with the stop, as now Kudus with a short corner. Come on, the fans must be on our side. Guido to strike that. Good bit of early pressure, as now Gaia, the man he spoke to. That's a brilliant cutaway, Gaia. And uses Kudus on the run. Kudus across the goal! He scored 11 minutes into the game. It is a chance for us. 3-2 on aggregates. Kudus with the goal. It was Jose Gaya who won the ball. A brilliant pass to keep him onside. And look at me in the camera. I truly am sweating here as we need another goal now. Come on. Very nice time to score. At home, fans behind us. 11 v 11. We really don't want a red card. Guido, come on. You've got to do better. As Jimenez. Good tackle, Alvarez. Just what we needed. But they love to win the ball back. And then Akanji, a Champions League winner. Onto Šeško, who needs to do well, keeping Leonardo out the team. As what a ball. Wan-Bissaka still getting forward. We need to get back into this game. Wan-Bissaka on a run. He's going to pull it towards Kudus. Channeling our inner, I think it's Newcastle versus PSG when it was 4-1 at St. James's Park, as there goes another injury. Paqueta again, I believe it was, as Rice running the wings. I actually do want to change formation as Šeško snuck in right there. Tomori, wrong side of him. It is Benjamin Šeško who gets it in the top corner, and we're already level. Look at this celebration as well. A little bit early, lads. I don't know why his captain's even doing it. He's too old to do them things. But what a finish, Šeško. He's only 22 years of age, and what a finish this is. Left peg, top bins. As there's a few walking wounded out there, you can see Paqueta's hit the deck at halftime. Few walking wounded as I'm going to go crazy here, changing the tactics, going very gung-ho. Harry Maguire on the field, our new captain, as Jurasek on the field as well. He hasn't played in months. But what I'm noticing here is pace is beating these when Šeško does get a chance to go through. Somerville on the chase there. I feel the longer we do go on, the more likely they score next. Just look at that from Somerville, a nutmeg. And now he's on the run against Tomori, getting around him. Kanate isn't coming across. It is Crescencio Somerville catching Milan on the break. 3-0 West Ham with the Gareth Bale celebration, and this is the Gareth Bale turnaround against the Milan team. He did it when he was very young, and Somerville, with the run, may have completed one historic comeback. Still do our defensive duties as Jurasek very far back. No, keep attacking. If we get another goal, they're completely killed off. And we are doing what Newcastle did to PSG to the full here. As Rice with that ping out to Kudus, and now Somerville. Šeško out of his feet. It's a poor shot, but not saved. Or not saved very well as Declan Rice. That's why we got him back. Šeško, back heel. Eze, he's missed a Champions League with what he did against Lens. And that is a killer ball as Šeško to kill the game. That was a big chance. And Rice just dribble with it, and now cut inside and shoot. Now, wherever this ball goes, there shouldn't be much time left. Even stops them from whacking it. A historic comeback. West Ham United, West Ham from London, have just made the Champions League semi-finals. As Unai Emery asked what he thinks to that game, and he calmly says he always thought it was going to happen. I've got faith in my team, and that shows why I was right to have so. What a win for West Ham, and we will celebrate that thoroughly. Phenomenal, but we have got some walking wounded. Paqueta 3 months. Guido only 5 days, and that is a real shame because Paqueta I was growing to love in this team, but we do have Eze back, and we do have Cunningham, who didn't get on in that game, but he may get on in the next one. As who do we have in the next one? Please be Wolfsburg. It's going to be Manchester City. PSG got Ajax, man. Just give us Ajax. Then again, we've beaten City before, very early in this save. And our team right now is better than it was earlier in the save. And look at that, when we play them, we actually play them in the league as well. So City 3 times in a row. Don't really look forward to that. But hey, the Premier League is really not our focus today in the finale, as 1-0 Ake sent off for City. And look at that, we drew 2-2 at home in the league. So all we've got to do is find a goal, and it's a smaller comeback than Milan. But who am I actually kidding? This is a huge ask, and somehow we've ended up with the home leg second each game this year. Is that why we're doing so well? And we've got Declan Rice, a rival in real life, and also Manuel Akanji, a real life player who's won it all at City. Need a leaf out of his book, as it's not 2 goals we need to grab, but 1. But then it's City as Erling Haaland, very close. Connection vitally missed though. Imagine if we do beat City and PSG are beaten. a Champions League final for the ages against Ajax. But early signs here, not very good. As Eze, no, that is a terrible ball. Where's Paqueta when you need him in the midfield? Really could do with him back, as Wan-Bissaka recovers very well there and uses Eze. Good passing, very quick, very sharp. And Kudus around his man right there, poking it for Eze. Šeško pulls away. Benjamin Šeško, what a save. I think I'm actually angry at that one, but with my stress levels after the last game, I can't really be angry. Got to keep on focusing as Bowen slipped behind. Jared Bowen just wide. Another closest call as Edson Alvarez. Free kick here, and Kudus with the spin. It's a ball just over Jared Bowen. As we are slightly on top, I'm not going to make the changes I did last time. Just go with Somerville. I really liked his pace last time out. So yeah, not changing formation, just changing a little bit of an outlet. Jared Bowen being poor. Mostly saved now, which isn't really like him. And Guido's just got back from injury. We don't have Paqueta on the bench. And you know what that means? UCL semi-final for Theodore Cunningham. If this was a longer save, he would be a star. But we only found him season 2, as Eze's have to move back, and I'm a bit worried about that because his passing has been terrible up to now because Cunningham onto the field. It's Theodore Cunningham, and he's done it! Level! A semi-final against City! Only on the field 2 minutes, and Eze's moved back, fed him through on goal. And I've got to say, the keeper, absolute howler, and Pep Guardiola's fuming. He's got to be fuming with his keeper, because I don't think we should have scored there. But hey, City like to bottle it. They've bottled it to Lyon before, and look at Eze, determined. That's got to be a red card. Come on, referee, do the right thing. A red card. KDB, the captain. This is good. This is bloody very good against City. And where's Ward-Prowse when you need him? At least Eze's up for taking the free kick. The number 32, that's absolutely terrible. No power, no pace, just straight into the hands of Ederson. Apart from that woeful save or non-save, he's done pretty decent. Ball towards Cunningham. Of course, he's not scoring a header from there. As I've worked out why we're doing well, it's Howard Bellis in the defence. And he's done shocking, losing out to Šeško, trying to get it central. As I think it's time he comes off in a minute for Leonardo. But Šeško sent through here. Šeško waits for Ederson to dive. His final action of the game will be a goal against City. A 10-man Manchester City to send West Ham to a final. This is a huge goal. Leonardo to come and see it out now against a Brazilian goalkeeper. But he scores for us, Šeško. City are wobbling, trying to keep us out again right here. And Cunningham to kill the game off. He's over-dribbled it, but as long as they don't get forward, West Ham are in a UCL final as there is the whistle. And I am in disbelief. All my energy went against Milan, but that is 2 comebacks, and that man needs a knighthood, especially in the capital of London. Unai Emery's Irons in the UCL final. As no interview, just headlines. Manchester City collapse as West Ham make the Champions League final. And the fans in disbelief, even the well-known fans amongst the fan base, as Bazinga doesn't stop with his trademark West Ham are massive. As unfortunately we do see who we play in this final already, and it will be Paris Saint-Germain, the richest club in world football. But we've already bloody beaten one, and if we don't win this game, I know we're not having another season, but we're leaving West Ham without UCL football. Oh, and how long is Guido injured for? ACL. I knew it. He didn't get back up. 7 months. He's out the save. And I do actually feel for him because he was really good at one point. As do we have to change the shape or do we just thread in Cunningham? Maybe a bit stupid, but I am thinking a change of shape because I know Rice can be defensive and I'm going to go 5-2-3. Trying something new for the UCL final. Crazy, isn't it? But I do trust that team. We'll change Wan-Bissaka to be happy. As speaking of being happy, the board, me to Unai. Saying, boss, where's your body? But also, you've done a really good job for us. Reaching a UCL final is beyond West Ham's wildest dreams. And we are so very grateful for your improvement to this football club. So yes, thank you, Unai. We've had a good spell with you in charge. And we'd like to offer you a new deal. 5-year contract on the table. Which Unai says, thank you. I'll definitely take that for the future. As win, lose or draw, we have improved West Ham together, but it would be good to win. and just make history. And yes, I am aware we did have Harry Maguire on the bench, but I'm going with Declan Rice sitting back. Cunningham, he has to start. Brilliant game last time out, and we are in the away kit, which sucks just a little bit, but at least there's no blue clashing. Speaking of clashing, we actually did have a game against Liverpool for the final game, and we actually won that 1-0. Meaning momentum into this finale, as can we use it to our advantage? Bowen to Wan-Bissaka, now needs to get the ball across. Into Cunningham, shrugging off his man. You can see there's already less players in the middle. Chip over, does reach Wan-Bissaka. Šeško to turn out, and to get his shot off. As West Ham United having a shot on target in the UCL final, but can it be more than that this time? Wan-Bissaka towards Eze. And so far the formation seeming like it's pretty good. I know they'd go to that spot, but Declan Rice is there to cover against Mbappe. Good tackle. Go on, Declan Rice. Sensational as now Eze. Look at that ball towards Bowen, who somehow stayed in the team all the time. He's been terrible the entirety of this save, but maybe in this final, all can be forgiven. Mr. West Ham, as Wan-Bissaka putting a ball towards the back post. Looking for Mo Kudus, who looks to get a tackle, misses it, and now Kylian Mbappe. Rice is marking him out. He's still not past his man on though. When Alvarez steps out to Mbappe, that's a brilliant tackle, but lost it. Now to Agate. Save in the end from Lunning, keeping us in it. And Declan Rice with the header. We need to hoof this away. Or calmly with Wan-Bissaka, who slipped. No! Oh my days, we're very lucky. The second half, here we go. Right, 0-0. Not needing a comeback is actually a good feeling as a Kanji. That's not a good feeling. Rounded. Don't let them score right now. It's Dembele inside in towards Gaia, allowing us to maybe break as Jose Gaia, the captain, the first signing we ever made. Jose Gaia running through here. The Spaniard on goal. It's saved. It's in with 10 minutes left of the game. Jose Gaia may win us the Champions League title. I know this is the final episode, but I had no expectation at all to win this trophy. And West Ham may do it. An FA Cup, Community Shield. We haven't come close to the Premier League, although we did, actually, but never in front. Still, in front in a final. Cunningham's come off as well for Harry Maguire and Eberechi Eze. A terrible ball. Maguire, he's lost track of it into Miguel. Good save, Andre Lunin. Experienced at this level again. Another good save, as is the final corner, surely. And we aren't in front of our man, Kyle Walker. Destiny Adobe. He's hit the side netting, and West Ham hit the Champions League. Never in a million years would I expect Jose Gaia, at the first time of asking, to win West Ham the Champions League. But Unai Emery's done it, and I have no idea how he's done it without Paqueta, Guido. Cunningham was in our midfield. Doing it for West Ham, who have won the Conference League, failed in the Europa, but Champions League glory ends out our save. And yes, the captain excited, lifting the trophy again, as maybe you guys are excited, because FC 25 comes soon.